A glowing object falls from the sky as a mechanical unicorn leads a convoy through a ruined city. Armored horses pull the carriage under a red sky, moving through deserted, broken streets. The vehicle rolls along a cracked road. A guard walks beside it, keeping watch. Inside a cage, prisoners sit silently. One calm figure stands out among them, watched closely by armed guards. Inside the cage, a white-haired girl speaks calmly, accepting their fate and urging someone named Chengzi to survive and live on. A young man reacts emotionally, shouting at the captors in anger as tension builds. Suddenly, chaos erupts as the convoy is attacked. He demands the release of his sister, standing fearlessly against the guards. The blonde girl inside the cage smiles with relief, recognizing Chengzi's bravery just as she expected. Guards raise their guns, pointing them into the cage, creating immediate tension among the prisoners. The blonde girl grabs the bars and yells in panic, begging them to stop and not hurt her brother. She reminds a figure outside the cage of his promise. As the gate opens, she pleads desperately. A masked man in futuristic armor calmly responds, assuring her that he remembers his tone cold and confident. The boy charges forward, shouting that he won't let them take his sister even if it costs him his life. He attacks fiercely, but his opponent easily counters with overwhelming power. Electric energy surges as he is struck down, unable to withstand the blow. Collapsed on the ground, he's mocked by the masked man, who says the weak can't protect anyone. The boy trembles in frustration, slamming his fists down and cursing his weakness. His sister screams at him to stay down, fearing for his safety. A man tosses him an awakening stone, revealing that his sister sacrificed for him to receive it. But the masked man mocks him again, saying even if he awakens, he'll remain powerless forever. The boy reaches for the awakening stone, trembling and calling out to his sister. He watches helplessly as her cage is taken away, begging them not to separate them. Suddenly, he wakes up in shock, shouting her name, "It's just a nightmare." Holding his head in pain, he reflects that this same dream has haunted him for the past 3 years since his sister was captured. He remembers the masked man who defeated him, haunted by the feeling of helplessness from that day. Gripping his head, he swears to become stronger so he can one day find and rescue his sister. Suddenly, his door is kicked open by armed thugs, startling him from his thoughts. A smug man named Zhao Ziyu enters with guards, demanding money and mocking him for working hard just to get robbed. He protests angrily, saying he already paid this month and has no money left. Ignoring his words, Zhao orders his men to search the house thoroughly and use force if needed. The guards grab him roughly as they prepare to ransack the place. Some time later, he sits in silence, bruised and angry, holding back his frustration. Zhao mocks him for hiding money, saying the beating was his own fault for lying. Despite the pain, the boy clenches his teeth, used to their violence, and silently vows not to be fooled. He reflects that they always come looking for trouble, and he knows their real intentions. His frustration explodes as he slams his fist against the wall, unable to suppress his anger any longer. He pulls out the awakening stone and stares at it with frustration and emotion. The stone falls from his hand, hitting the floor with a sharp sound. As he picks it up, he reflects on the 3 years spent investigating it after his sister's capture. Despite all efforts, he's found no clues about her whereabouts, only this stone remains as a lead. He believes the only clue to his sister's location lies with the masked man, and finding him is the key. The awakening stone holds mysterious power. Anyone over 16 can use it to unlock their innate seal. These seals come in 3 levels: bronze, gold, and diamond, each offering different strengths. Once awakened, the seal grants the user special abilities, changing their fate entirely. Awakening through the stone turns a person into an awakened, granting them special powers. He recalls how rare and expensive the stone is and how his sister gave it to him with hope. On his 16th birthday, he places the stone on his chest, wishing only to find his sister. A surge of energy explodes around him as the awakening begins, his seal finally unlocking. He unlocks a powerful skill book called the Book of Endless Evolution, linked to a rare diamond seal. Realizing it's one of a kind, he's excited no one else in the settlement has this seal. While others like Zhao Ziyu are only at level 2, this seal could let him awaken up to 8 abilities. But he doesn't know how to level up. He decides to ask someone named Liu Ziai for guidance. At Settlement No. 226, workers toil under the sun to grow and harvest food for survival. Though the land now produces thanks to new crops, many still suffer due to unfair food distribution. The manager takes most of the harvest as tribute, leaving little for the people, leading to starvation during poor seasons. While others suffer, the manager enjoys luxury, sipping wine with a smug smile. A cheerful boy teases Chengzi, joking that he's distracted by his so-called red wine. Chengzi introduces him as his best friend, Liu Ziai, someone he trusts deeply. Liu Ziai lives a normal life in the settlement, with a family and relatively stable conditions. Though he pretends to drink wine, Chengzi suspects it's just some weird liquid, especially since Liu's been acting odd after reading strange romance novels. Chengzi asks his friend directly about Seal Awakening and how to level up afterward. Liu Ziai explains that after awakening, one must enter dimensional dungeons and defeat monsters to gain levels. However, these dungeons drain energy, house deadly monsters, and are controlled by powerful factions. Worse yet, entry requires a hefty fee, making it nearly impossible for the poor to access them. Liu Ziai explains that 70% of any loot found in the dungeon must be handed over to the guards at the entrance. The dungeon also drains life energy and is filled with deadly monsters, making survival difficult. Chengzi reflects that these dungeons are even more dangerous than their harsh life outside. Liu Ziai confirms the grim truth: most who enter die, and even the survivor often returns barely alive. Zhao Ziyu approaches with a smug smile, claiming he has good news for Liu Ziai. Liu Ziai seems confused, while Chengzi immediately grows suspicious of Zhao's intentions. Zhao announces that the boss is allowing Liu Ziai to enter the dimensional dungeon since he awakened. Surprisingly, Zhao adds that there's no admission fee this time, an offer that sounds too generous to be trusted. Zhao smugly declares that all supplies gained in the dungeon belong to the settlement. Liu Ziai is confused, but Chengzi realizes the loot will be split among Zhao's group, not the people. Zhao defends this by claiming their boss is the heart of the settlement and deserves the resources. He taunts Chengzi for clenching his fist, daring him to fight even though he hasn't awakened yet. Liu Ziai reassures Chengzi not to worry, it's just a supply trip, and he promises to return safely. He puts on a brave face and tells the others to ignore Chengzi's concern. Chengzi holds back his feelings, knowing it's risky to reveal his own seal to anyone. Despite the danger, Chengzi watches his best friend walk away, silently worried for him. Chengzi suddenly steps forward, declaring he'll enter the dungeon too if they want his friend to die. Liu Ziai is shocked by his decision, while Zhao is clearly caught off guard. Chengzi reasons that he can't afford other dungeons anyway, so he might as well take this chance. Zhao laughs mockingly, questioning whether Chengzi is even qualified since only the awakened are allowed. Chengzi boldly announces that he's also an awakened, shocking everyone. The scene shifts to the dungeon entrance, glowing with swirling energy as the team prepares. A guard at the portal camp mocks their arrival, calling them the new mules. Zhao laughs, sarcastically calling them domesticated animals, clearly looking down on them. A guard mocks Chengzi and Liu Ziai, saying they're too weak to carry anything and should be beaten. Chengzi mutters that if he survives, he'll punch that guy 100 times. Liu Ziai laughs it off, playing along and joking that it's a good idea, he'll start with 100. The guard fumes, calling Chengzi arrogant and clearly not used to being talked back to. Zhao barks at Chengzi and Liu Ziai to hurry up and enter the portal. Liu Ziai warmly thanks Chengzi, calling him his brother, but Chengzi simply tells him to shut up. As they step through the portal, guards and others look on, unaware of Chengzi's full power. Zhao smokes in frustration, realizing Chengzi has been hiding his true abilities very well. Zhao reveals that Chengzi's awakening stone came from the same agency that took his sister, but it remained hidden for years. Zhao's men worry Chengzi may seek revenge for their years of abuse and exploitation. Zhao dismisses their fear, saying Chengzi would need to survive the dungeon first. With a sinister grin, Zhao reminds them that he also awakened a golden seal, and in this world, power alone doesn't guarantee survival. Chengzi and Liu Ziai step into the dungeon, a dark and eerie place filled with unknown danger. Liu recalls that this dungeon is said to be a projection of hell, where staying too long drains life energy. Realizing the risk, Chengzi says they must move fast before it's too late. He reminds Liu of their goal: kill monsters, gain experience, and level up to survive. A scream echoes through the dungeon, startling Cheng Zai and Liu Ziai as they realize others are inside. Liu wonders why there are so many people, and Chengzi explains that the dungeon has multiple entrances. Cheng Zai deduces the Zhaoist group is exploiting awakened individuals to compete for resources with others. He reflects that people like them are treated as disposable pawns used to gather supplies for the powerful. Liu Ziai asks Chengzi if he's planning to get himself killed with this reckless decision. Chengzi responds firmly: if he doesn't take risks, he'll never be able to stand against the top fighters. He envisions powerful figures like Zhao and his elite team, knowing they control everything. Liu is stunned, questioning if Chengzi truly wants to challenge such high-level opponents. Chengzi remembers the pain and hatred he felt, never forgetting how badly they were treated by those in power. Liu Ziai smiles proudly, saying Chengzi is exactly the kind of person he believed him to be. He reveals a secret: his father and awakened uncle are secretly gathering troops to fight back against the oppressors. Chengzi is surprised to hear that Uncle Liu is involved, giving him a new sense of hope. Liu Ziai recalls how his grandmother died from mistreatment despite her old age, leaving the family heartbroken. Her painful death pushed his father and uncles to secretly start planning their rebellion. He grips Zhao Cheng's hand, forming a firm alliance in their shared struggle. Liu Ziai solemnly declares Zhao Cheng not just a friend, but something even stronger: his brother in arms. Liu Ziai calls Zhao Cheng not just a friend, but a comrade in arms. Zhao Cheng admits he has a selfish motive to someday leave this place and find his sister. Liu Ziai laughs, saying everyone has selfish motives, and he dreams of marrying Yao after their rebellion succeeds. Cheng smiles faintly, knowing everything depends on whether they survive the dungeon first. The duo hears a scream and hides, spotting a massive, rotting wolf devouring someone. The wolf's body is even larger than normal ones outside the dungeon and still moves despite decaying. Cheng notices a glowing red core near its shoulder, clearly the creature's weak point. He realizes the core emits the same aura as an awakening stone, suggesting the wolf might also possess an ability. Despite facing a terrifying monster, Chengzi remains calm, impressing his companion. As the wolf walks away, Chengzi confirms they can now move forward safely. His friend feels nauseated after seeing the corpse being eaten, but notices Chengzi approaching it without hesitation. To his shock, Chengzi kneels beside the mangled remains, examining them intently. Chengzi's friend panics after seeing Chengzi's bloodied hand inside the monster's corpse. Unfazed, Chengzi recalls worse situations and considers this a minor task. He retrieves a knife from the corpse, noting it's likely made from cow bones. Suddenly, his friend warns him that the monster is back, alarming them both. The wolf returns, cautiously observing them while hiding in the mist. Chengzi realizes it's pretending to retreat to lure them out, but he steps forward deliberately. He crouches down, ready to bait the wolf, increasing their odds of striking its weak point. When asked if he can handle it, Chengzi confidently tells his friend to focus and leave the wolf to him. He remembers that Yezi awakened his seal 6 months earlier and should handle monsters like this easily, but Chengzi charges in himself. Following his sister's advice to strike first, he lunges straight at the giant wolf without hesitation. As the beast attacks, he maneuvers through its assault, trying to hit its weak spot, the blood-red core. Activating his bronze seal ability Wolf Bloodthirst, he aims a direct blow at the core, reducing the monster's speed by 15%. Chengzi is struck as the red aura swirls around him. He realizes the monster's ability is a speed boost, it's using a skill. Yezi quickly reacts by loading his slingshot with a glowing, blue-charged stone. With a precise shot, Yezi strikes the wolf right in the face, stunning it. He urgently shouts to Chengzi to hurry while keeping his weapon aimed, trying to buy more time. Chengzi locks eyes on his target and responds with determination he's ready. With precision, he thrusts the blade upward, aiming straight for the wolf's exposed core. The blade pierces into the monster's glowing chest as it roars in pain, red energy swirling wildly. Chengzi screams as he drives the attack with full force, pushing through the wolf's resistance. Chengzi screams and puts all his strength into pushing the blade deeper into the wolf's glowing chest. His eyes widen in frustration. The resistance is stronger than expected, but he refuses to stop. Despite the direct strike to the weak point, the monster still stands firm, refusing to fall. Chengzi grits his teeth, pinned under the wolf. Realizing his attack wasn't enough, he's in serious danger. The giant wolf staggers, blood dripping from its chest as it begins to collapse forward. With a heavy crash, the beast falls flat onto the ground motionless. Yezi watches in shock and fear, calling out Chengzi's name with growing panic. Suddenly, the wolf's eye twitches, still alive, and it's not over yet. Chengzi rises from the fallen beast, bloodied but alive, assuring his friend he won't die that easily. Suddenly, the golden book glows brightly. He's leveled up to level 2, and the Book of Endless Evolution activates once again. The system notifies him that 3 new seals are available to choose from. He's presented with 3 options: Gold Seal, Soul Development Bronze Seal, Paper Soldier Gold Seal, Wolf Skin. She realizes that the power of the Diamond level seal allows him to instantly gain new seal options upon leveling up. 3 seals appear again: Paper Soldier Bronze, Wolf Skin Gold, and Solo Development I Gold. While Paper Soldier and Wolf Skin are intriguing, the Solo Development seal stands out due to its unique suffix I, hinting it might be part of a series with special potential. He selects the Solo Development I Gold seal, and confirmation appears that he's successfully obtained it. The effects are revealed. Effect 1. All attributes increase by 15% or 22.5% with the Book of Evolution. Bonus effect 2. One attribute can be boosted by 200% or 300% with the bonus for 1.5 minutes. This is only the first in the Solo Development series. Chengzi smiles, realizing the seal he picked has incredible potential. Since it's only the first in the Solo Development series, there's room for further upgrades. His friend urges him to stop daydreaming and hurry up. The smell of blood could attract more monsters, so they need to harvest the wolf quickly. Chengzi, still a bit distracted, asks for help with the harvesting, but his friend refuses in panic, waving his hands and backing off. He explains nervously that he's never even been allowed to kill poultry by his parents, so dissecting a giant monster is definitely too much for him. As Chengzi works on the wolf's body, he reflects that Liu Ziai is different from him. He still has both his parents, a rarity in this apocalyptic world. Chengzi offers the crystals from the wolf to Liu Ziai, explaining that the meat and skin are useless to him, but the crystals are valuable and rightfully Ziai's. Liu Ziai is shocked and asks if he's serious, pointing out that the crystals are the most important resource. Chengzi responds that Ziai's family needs funds for their future plans. Chengzi calmly states that the crystals are his share, affirming that he has no hesitation in giving them to Liu Ziai, despite their value. Chengzi acknowledges Liu Ziai's help in targeting the wolf's eye, which made the kill much easier. Liu Ziai promises to remember this moment and report it to his father. Concerned about losing their loot at the entrance, Liu Ziai asks if Chengzi has thought of a way to avoid handing it over. Chengzi confidently replies that once they leave, they will fight back. To prepare, they must use every opportunity in the dungeon to grow stronger and level up. Liu Ziai agrees that his father likely knows he was forced into the dungeon. He believes his family has been waiting for the right opportunity to act. Chengzi proposes continuing deeper into the forest, suggesting that more mutant wolves might be lurking further in. Before they hunt again, Liu Ziai says there's something important to clarify, hinting at setting expectations or terms between them. Chengzi pauses and seriously asks, "What is it?" Liu Ziai reveals his seal. Great Proficiency is a gold seal. It boosts multiple attributes by 15% and grants him the ability to detect weaknesses in enemies. Thanks to this ability, he immediately recognized the wolf's weakness, its eyes, and used that information to help in the battle. After killing the wolf, his experience rose above 90%, bringing him close to reaching level 2. Ziai wanted to be honest with Chengzi for smoother teamwork in future fights. However, he hesitates, wondering how Chengzi would react if he knew Ziai held a rare diamond seal. Ziai reflects on their bond and worries whether Chengzi would still want to be comrades if he knew the full truth about his seal. Despite his hesitation, Ziai decides to reveal his seal, holding out his hand and showing honesty in the moment. He shares that his seal is Solo Development 1, a gold seal that boosts all attributes by 15% and can enhance a specific attribute for a limited time. He reassures himself that this is his first seal, so technically he's not lying, even if he's withholding the truth about the diamond seal. Ziai breathes a sigh of relief, admitting he was afraid Chengxi's seal might be far stronger than his own. He cheers up instantly, saying they're now equals true brothers meant to fight side by side. Ziai throws his arm around Chengxi's shoulder, excited to go hunt wolves together like real comrades. As Ziai laughs joyfully, Chengxi smiles quietly, thinking to himself that he'll tell Ziai the truth someday. Chengxi charges toward the wolf, aiming his blade directly at the glowing red core. Ziai backs him up, firing a precise shot with his slingshot to distract the beast. Using the opening, Chengxi leaps in, narrowly dodging the wolf's claws and slashing with full force. His blade lands right on target, striking the wolf's core with deadly precision. Ziai offers the wolf bones and materials, but Chengxi declines, saying they hold little value to him. Ziai shares that he finally reached level 3 with 70% experience and curiously asks Chengxi's level. Chengxi casually replies that he's already level 4 with 50% experience, shocking Ziai. Chengxi explains the difference since he's the one killing the wolves. The experience gain is naturally higher. Ziai sits frustrated, blaming his fear of blood for not helping more. Chengxi jokes that he could try next time. Ziai clings to Chengxi, claiming he just loves assisting. Chengxi, unimpressed, finds the excuse unconvincing. Chengxi reflects silently. His fast level up is due to the diamond seal far ahead, which he unlocked at level 3. Although it's a diamond seal like the Book of Eternal Evolution, Chengxi realizes far ahead is clearly weaker, confirming that even among diamond seals, there are clear differences in power. As they travel, a mysterious voice echoes through the forest. Someone shouts, "Liu Zhu, what are you doing?" Ziai hears the voice and immediately becomes curious. Chengxi warns that they've entered someone else's path again. Chengxi suggests avoiding conflict and going the other way to stay out of trouble. Ziai, blushing and imagining a beautiful woman, insists that a voice that's sweet must belong to a beauty and wants to check it out. Chengxi refuses to follow the voice and insists on staying to level up. Ziai is left confused by his seriousness. Chengxi knows leveling up isn't hard, but time is short. Staying too long risks losing their young energy, just like Yezi had warned. Meanwhile, disturbing voices echo in the distance. A man taunts a girl who's seemingly forced to undress. Ziai blushes and teases Chengxi, misinterpreting his serious tone about leveling up as something perverted. Chengxi changes his mind and calmly says it won't hurt to take a look, surprising Ziai, who didn't expect him to agree so quickly. In the forest, two figures face off under the shadows, tension rising. She accuses him of planning everything. He admits it was his chance to get close to someone powerful. He shows his seal and mocks her low level. Others at level 5 died from his poison. He tells her to obey, claiming he won't mistreat her if she listens. She stays calm, but her glowing eyes show anger. He boldly claims they'll marry one day and says he just needs the status tied to her family name. With a crazed smile, he insists they're a perfect match and pushes his twisted idea of fate. Not far away, Chengxi mocks him, whispering to Ziai that even slaves now have big dreams. He hints the scandal could damage the family's reputation. Chengxi urges Ziai to speak up, calling it a serious matter. But Ziai remains silent, watching carefully. Ziai watches from behind a tree and mentions that if the woman's guards are dead, they might have a chance. Chengxi is shocked at Ziai's plan, but laughs nervously when Ziai explains he'll wait until both sides are down to loot the bodies. Ziai explains her level is too low to survive anyway. Chengxi looks disappointed and didn't expect this kind of thinking from him. Meanwhile, the enemy charges at the woman, laughing wickedly, saying he'll take action himself since she refuses to cooperate. She glares with focus, then suddenly strikes, slashing the enemy across the face. He stumbles back in shock as a burst of powder hits him, confused by the unexpected attack. She notes it's only paralyzing powder and won't hold him for long. Without wasting time, she runs, thinking if she can reach the entrance she came from, she'll be safe. She tries to escape, confident the paralyzing powder will slow him down. But he quickly recovers, shouting that the poison doesn't affect him. He charges at her in fury, warning her not to blame him for being ruthless. Before she can react, he strikes her hard and she gasps in pain. She crashes to the ground, injured, as he stands behind her, watching with a cold expression. The woman struggles as he moves in, unfazed. The powder numbed his face, but he mocks that he doesn't need it to win. Chengzi notices she's caught and explains how level gaps make a huge difference in strength. Ziai is surprised by Chengzi's knowledge. Chengzi shares how he calculated it by observing their past fights against wolves. Impressed, Ziai wonders how he never realized before that Chengzi had such strong fighting instincts, despite being so silly. The man stands over her, pretending to be gentle. She lies on the ground, weakened and unable to fight back. She warns him that even if he takes her body, her family will never let him go. Moving would only spread the poison from his dagger faster. He smirks cruelly, saying he never intended to be part of her family. He mocks her for believing his earlier lies. Laughing wickedly, he reveals his true goal to ruin her reputation and destroy the honor of her prestigious family. He grabs her roughly and mocks her, ready to violate her. But she secretly pulls out a hidden blade, stabbing him in the side. She quickly follows up with a powerful punch to his throat, taking him by surprise. He screams in pain, stumbling back as she pushes him off with all her strength. Enraged and wounded, he declares that he'll kill her for resisting him. She realizes his dagger is poisoned and prepares to face death, thinking at least her family's name won't be stained. He lunges at her, aiming to strike the final blow, shouting for her to die. But suddenly, Ziai appears and lands a powerful, electric-charged punch straight into the attacker's chest. Stunning everyone, Ziai takes a hit to the shoulder, but remains standing strong. She looks up, stunned and emotional, watching him fight for her. With overwhelming force, Ziai sends the enemy flying through the air, slamming him hard into the ground. Chengzi steps out casually, teasing Ziai about his sudden move and asking if he used skill to boost his legs. Ziai sits beside her unconscious body and says he has his reasons for helping her. Chengzi panics, asking if she's dead. She lies motionless on the ground. Ziai checks and confirms there's still a pulse. She fainted from the poison and tension. Chengzi sighs, realizing that even if she's alive now, the poison will kill her soon. Ziai says she can't die, yet she's essential for their plan to overthrow their enemies. Chengzi is confused, reminding him that she's poisoned and they don't know how to cure it. Ziai agrees, but hints there's someone who can handle it. He points to a distant figure, implying that help is already nearby. The unconscious attacker lies stripped and tied up. Ziai and Chengzi examine his belongings. Ziai wonders if taking his stuff might attract revenge. Chengzi stays calm, analyzing the situation. Chengzi explains that since the woman knew the attacker's identity, his backers likely already discarded him. He adds that anyone causing them trouble would also be going against the noble woman. Meanwhile, she slowly starts to regain consciousness. Chengzi excitedly agrees with Ziai's plan, while the enemy remains unconscious on the ground. Ziai watches silently, lost in thought, while the enemy slowly starts to wake up. The man groans in pain, confused, feeling like someone had kicked him hard in the head. As he wonders who hit him, he opens his eyes to see Ziai and Chengzi grinning menacingly at him. The man angrily demands to know who attacked him and shouts for release, threatening them. He warns them not to mess with him, claiming he'll have them torn apart if they don't let him go. Ziai calmly asks Chengzi how they should handle him, holding a knife with a smirk. Chengzi jokes about treating him like the wild boar they caught last time, as the man nervously realizes he's in serious trouble. The man screams in fear as they prepare to cut him. He begs them to stop, saying his blood is needed to make the antidote. Ziai calmly tells him his life depends on whether he tells the truth. As the blade pierces his wrist, he cries out in pain, begging them to be gentle. Blood drips from the cut as he warns them not to take too much. He could die if drained further. A drop of blood falls on her lips as she lies unconscious, beginning to react. The man begs them to stop draining his blood, saying it's already enough and more would be wasted. Ziai orders Chengzi to bandage the wound with wolf skin to avoid attracting monsters. Chengzi enthusiastically agrees and tightly wraps the man's wrist, making him scream in pain again. Chengzi admires himself, thinking he's still superior in some ways, even joking that he's not tempted by the woman. He proudly declares his heart belongs only to Ziaoyu, imagining her in a romantic glow. Meanwhile, the woman stirs and softly moans, showing signs the blood is working. The tied-up man trembles in fear, while Chengzi reassures them the antidote will kick in soon. She slowly opens her eyes, regaining consciousness as the antidote takes effect. The tied-up man happily boasts that he didn't lie and the cure worked. She turns to Zi and softly asks if he was the one who saved her. Zi replies that he has his reasons, revealing they overheard her earlier and realized she was of noble status. She confirms her identity as a member of the Guan family, deciding there's no point in hiding it anymore since they already know. The tied-up man rages, blaming the two boys for ruining his plans. Shocked they managed to interfere, Zi casually asks if her father is just a settlement manager, confusing her with the question. She's stunned, wondering if he's clueless about the Guan name or just pretending not to know its significance. Zi asks her directly if he saves her life. Can she ask her father for a favor in return? She confirms her family's influence, explaining they manage hundreds of settlements. Zi pushes for a clear answer, wanting to know if she can truly help him when needed. She hesitates, saying her life might not be enough to repay the kind of help he's asking for, and asks to hear what he really wants. Zi explains that he wants to replace the manager of his settlement and believes her father's support could help him succeed. She's left speechless, surprised that his request wasn't something bigger or more dangerous. Zi adds that he understands it's a lot to ask, but offers to act as her bodyguard in return, along with his friend. She repeats the word bodyguards in disbelief, still trying to process his unexpected proposal. Zi uses a captive to heal the injured Guanju. Chengzi helps patch her up while Zi checks her condition. Guanju wakes up. Zi confirms her noble status. She admits she's from the Guan family. The captive panics as his plan fails. Zi proposes a deal. He'll save her if her father helps him become a settlement leader. She asks what he wants. He just needs support and protection. Zi offers supplies and protection in return. Guanju is surprised but agrees. She introduces herself and suggests they team up. Zi shakes hands with Guanju and seals their deal. Chengzi greets her warmly. Zi introduces himself and his friend Liu Zi. The team is now officially formed. The tied-up man is shocked that a noble like Guanju is working with commoners. He thinks back to their young master, fuming in disbelief he can't accept a woman like her being involved. Guanju asks Zi what they'll do with the tied-up man. Zi calmly replies that since they're partners now, it's her decision to make. Zi casually hands over the man, saying to treat it as a gift. The man panics and begs for mercy, claiming he was also deceived. Guanju decides to handle the prisoner herself and steps forward with determination. She notices she's covered with a cloak and wonders if Zhao Cheng did it. Realizing his gesture, she smiles slightly, acknowledging he's rough but observant. She picks up a knife, ready to take action. Zhao Cheng warns that the prisoner's blood is an antidote, so he can't be killed with the poison dagger. Guanju says she never intended to poison him, just make him bleed. The man begs for mercy. He swears never to do it again and pleads desperately, saying he'll disappear if forgiven. Zi's friend imagines a romantic story forming and mutters that girls are just too soft-hearted. The prisoner screams as he's stabbed in the arm by Guanju, just enough to make him bleed. Zi turns to leave, saying it's time to move on. The group begins to depart. Guanju silently watches them walk away. Having handled the situation, Chengzi whispers that she's too soft-hearted despite everything. She still didn't kill the man who nearly murdered her. Zi reminds Chengzi that bleeding in the dungeon can attract monsters. Chengzi suddenly realizes the danger. As they walk away, Chengzi reflects that Guanju isn't soft-hearted, she's actually cold and calculating. He smirks nervously, realizing she deliberately left the enemy to suffer a slow and painful fate. The wounded man coughs weakly on the ground, left behind as monster bait. The wounded man curses Guanju, vowing to make her suffer once he escapes. He snarls, promising to torment her before she dies. Suddenly, a pack of fierce, red-eyed wolves appears from the forest. The man panics as they close in, shocked that danger arrived so fast. The chained man screams in terror as the wolves approach, begging them to stay away. His horrifying scream echoes through the forest. Chengzi hears it and casually remarks how miserable it sounds. Zi criticizes Guanju's impulsiveness, saying they lost a chance to find out who orchestrated the attack. Zi says finding the true culprit is the only way to resolve Guanju's problem. Since she helped them, Zi considers her situation. Guanju thinks she knows who the enemy is. Zi mentions keeping the attacker alive would have helped, as his status could have exposed a bigger threat. Guanju appreciates Zi's thoughtfulness and leans closer, calling him kind. Ziai reflects that even someone like Guanju, a manager's daughter, faces difficult problems. Suddenly, a monster lunges at them from above. Catching everyone off guard, Ziai instantly activates his skill Solo Development 01, boosting his agility by 300% for 15 minutes. With a furious roar, the beast targets them with full force. Ziai swiftly grabs the girl and dodges the wolf's ambush just in time. He locks eyes with the beast, realizing the threat is far more serious. A system screen reveals it's the level 5 Netherworld Bone Wolf King and elite dungeon boss Chengzi panics, shouting that they're up against the dreaded Wolf King. The group realizes they're completely surrounded by wolves, there's no escape. Chengzi panics, convinced the Wolf King is here for revenge. Ziai calmly admits they probably brought this on themselves by hunting too many monster wolves. Frustrated, Chengzi yells at him to stop talking nonsense and focus on escaping. Chengzi orders Yezi to protect Lady Guan with his slingshot while he takes care of the wolves. Yezi freaks out, pointing out the Wolf King and other enemies, doubting his ability as a level 2. Chengzi focuses his intent, declaring his real target is the Wolf King. His system interface shows he's at level 4 with several awakened seals, ready for battle. A crazed man screams as wolves approach. Ziai, Chengzi, and the girl hear the sound in the distance. Ziai is told he acted impulsively, they lost the chance to interrogate the attacker. He replies that solving the root issue is what matters most. A giant wolf suddenly appears, it's the Wolf King. Ziai activates a skill to boost his agility. Chengzi panics as they prepare to fight. Surrounded by wolves, Ziai tells Chengzi to protect the girl while he handles the threat. She hands Ziai a better weapon before the battle begins. The girl draws a glowing green bladed dagger from her clothes. She admits the blade isn't amazing, but still far better than Ziai's current bone knife. She offers the weapon to Ziai as an upgrade. Chengzi, shocked, wonders how such a short skirt could even hide that blade. Ziai accepts the blade with a grateful smile, thanking the girl. The Wolf King charges at full speed, its jaws wide open to strike. Ziai quickly leaps onto the wolf's head, aiming to attack from above. He realizes brute strength alone won't be enough to bring this massive beast down. Ziai leaps onto the Wolf King, stabbing its side and causing it to roar in pain. He flips midair, locking eyes on the target as he plans his next move. With a determined gaze, he raises his blade, aiming directly for the blood-red core. He dives straight toward the glowing weak spot, knowing one precise strike will decide the battle. Ziai evades multiple attacks, realizing the wolves are coordinating as a group. He lands on one beast's back and notices their tactics resemble intelligent ambush behavior. He assesses their patterns, comparing them to high-IQ mutant wolves he's seen before. But with confidence, he reminds himself no beast, no matter how smart, can outthink a human. That faces off with another snarling wolf, but reveals he never intended to fight, just the Wolf King smirking. He prepares to counterattack as the enemy charges. He activates the Gold Seal, Solo Development 01, drastically boosting his speed and stats. With enhanced strength, he easily downs the level 2 Bone Wolf, declaring that brute strength triumphs over tactics. As Ziai battles the wolves, Chengzi spots danger approaching and calls out to Yezi. Ziai turns to check on him, alert and ready. Yezi activates his Great Proficiency 01 Gold Seal, gaining the ability to detect enemy weaknesses. Using his skill, Yezi marks the wolves' weak points, helping Ziai turn the fight around. Ziai and Yezi launch a synchronized attack, slashing through the wolves with perfect timing. Ziai smiles despite the blood, impressed by their teamwork. Chengzi is surprised, admitting he thought Yezi was just a follower. Yezi confidently corrects him, proudly showing he's more than just support. The wolf activates its speed-enhancing seal and charges furiously at Ziai. Ziai steadies himself, ready to end the fight with one final move. The beast roars and lunges again, while Ziai faces it head-on. Chengzi and the girl freeze as the situation turns dire. Panic spreads across their faces. The wolf charges again as Ziai stands firm, shouting for Yezi and Guanju to get down. He braces himself, golden energy wrapping around his body as he prepares for his final strike. Ziai focuses, activating his full power to ensure this blow will be fatal. With fiery determination in his eyes, he resolves to give it everything he has to kill the beast. He activates the fire enchantment seal, surrounding himself in blazing flames. With a loud cry, he launches into the air, leaving a fiery trail behind. The flaming strike crashes down with explosive force, startling his allies. Nearby flames engulf the battlefield as the attack hits its mark. overwhelming everything in its path. The flaming attack slams down with unstoppable force, shaking the ground. Ziai and the girl watch in awe. Ziai admits that Chengxi's power is overwhelming. They witness a towering pillar of fire left behind by the explosion. The girl, stunned, reveals that even in her powerful family, no one below level 8 could unleash something like this. Zhao Cheng sits quietly, and the purple-haired girl questions his level, noting it's impossible for those above level 5 to enter this dungeon. The boy says Zhao Cheng is around level 4, which is higher than his own level 2. She is surprised and thinks a level 4 shouldn't be capable of such feats. She realizes Zhao Cheng can fight like someone at level 8, shocking her even more as she watches him walking calmly. She observes his flaming blade and thinks, this should be his first seal, but it's only supposed to be a weak power. Ziai looks at the destruction he's caused, satisfied. The girl silently acknowledges how powerful his attack was, thinking maybe he's the one her father was searching for. Ziai, still tense, declares it's done. His strike was a success. A system notification activates. Far Ahead seal grants 75% bonus experience. Ziai levels up to level 5. Another screen appears, the Book of Eternal Evolution, offering Ziai a choice to unlock one of 3 new seals. Ziai is shown 3 new bronze seal options: Headshot, Disaster, and Wolf Bloodthirst. He notices the Wolf Bloodthirst seal includes an extra explanation about increasing speed by 15%. He recalls encountering the seal's effect before during a wolf battle. Realizing he can access more info on seals he's already seen in action, Ziai debates whether to pick the familiar and useful seal or take a gamble on an unknown one. Ziai decides to take a gamble and selects the Headshot Strike bronze word attribute. The skill ensures his next attack will be a critical hit with boosted damage, though it has a 10-minute cooldown. He notes that while the effect alone is average, it can be deadly when paired with other attributes. Putting the upgrade aside, Ziai turns his focus to skinning the Wolf King and collecting his rewards. Ziai asks what the use is for collecting the beast materials. The girl explains they can be exchanged for supplies and crafted into weapons or clothing. She reveals those materials are rare in their settlement and now legally belong to Ziai under their agreement. Internally, she's shocked, thinking her own servants wouldn't even bother with such low-level beast remains. She wonders what kind of place Ziai and Chengxi came from. She reflects on her father's teachings, realizing that even in unknown, rundown places, true geniuses like Zhao Cheng can be born. Chengxi feels the strange energy of the place is making his arms go numb, while Ziai tries to brush it off casually despite the obvious pain. Chengxi suggests they hurry and find more monsters quickly to gain more experience points before time runs out. He recalls a figure from his past and thinks to himself that the stronger he becomes, the better chance he'll have to defeat them. The girl interrupts, offering a better location to earn experience, hinting that there's a more efficient path than just wandering around. The girl hints at a better destination, surprising Chengxi and his group. She explains that every dimensional dungeon has a true boss that gives far more experience than normal monsters. Defeating a boss also grants valuable treasure, possibly crystal stones, divine weapons, or armor. The brown-haired boy realizes something. Didn't they already defeat a massive wolf king? He questions if it was a boss. Ziai realizes that the real boss won't come to them like the wolf king did. It guards its treasure deep in a boss area. Chengxi wonders how they'll locate the actual boss, while the brown-haired boy pretends to understand everything quickly. The girl remains composed, thinking Chengxi is quite an interesting person. The brown-haired boy whispers to Chengxi that the girl is clearly showing off, but Chengxi stays focused. They don't have time to waste. The boys find the girl strange. She speaks casually despite nearly dying. They're puzzled by how she keeps pulling out items from nowhere. Chengxi defends her calmly, explaining that as an administrator's daughter, it's natural she knows more, and her skirt ability might be a word attribute. The brown-haired boy teasingly accuses Chengxi of being overly obsessed, asking if he's in heat. The girl quietly finds the item she was looking for, but keeps its value hidden, not wanting to expose its worth to the others. Chengxi shows them a special tool, a perception pointer that can detect the direction of the boss's location. The pointer activates and locks onto the boss, confirming it's a high-quality item made for green-grade dungeons. The group prepares to move, but the brown-haired boy is still annoyed Chengzi avoided answering his earlier teasing question. Suddenly, something shoots into the sky from a faraway mountain marking the boss's exact location. The group reaches the location and spots the dungeon boss, a massive red beast with spikes. They're shocked by its ferocity. The boss is revealed to be the spiked red demon boar, a level 10 monster. Hiding behind the trees, they analyze its danger. It has 2 awakened word attributes, making it extremely powerful. Zhao Cheng notes that the monster's physical strength is overwhelming, and with their current levels, defeating it head-on would be nearly impossible. Guanju recalls her teacher's warning: bosses in dungeons should never be provoked unless you're at an extraordinary level. To defeat such bosses, one must be an awakened being of monster level, far beyond normal limits even if entry-level restrictions apply. Liu Ziai complains that bringing them here was pointless if they can't win, calling it a waste of time. But Guanju confidently declares that Zhao Cheng might be one of those rare, awakened individuals capable of transcending normal existence. The group hides in the bushes as Guanju alerts them someone is approaching. A loud man with a gun and his team arrive, celebrating his luck and finally locating what he calls a stupid pig after multiple dungeon runs. He's confident and aggressive, clearly targeting the dungeon boss with no idea what he's actually up against. Liu Ziai peeks from the bushes and bluntly asks Zhao Cheng if those guys are idiots, hinting they're walking into danger without a clue. Zhao Cheng explains that those armed men might not be total fools, some could be word attribute users. He points out the gun in their leader's hand, confusing Liu Ziai. She recalls seeing such a weapon used to hunt mutated wild dogs, but reveals that it's a replica of a powerful ancient weapon. She says her teacher claimed ancient humans wielded terrifying weapons, capable of wiping out entire settlements, and that only awakened ones today could match that kind of power. Shocked, Liu Ziai questions how powerful ancient humans really were. Then he wonders if they were so strong, how did the world fall into ruin? While ancient weapons are powerful, Zhao Cheng explains that some word attribute awakened ones possess abilities far more dangerous, some so strong they can reshape the world just by existing. Suddenly, a massive explosion erupts from the battlefield, lighting up the sky and shaking the ground, shocking everyone. Zhao Cheng watches closely and declares that the battle has officially begun. The red demonic boar boss charges fiercely as the armed intruders open fire on it, their bullets glowing from the impact, yet the beast shows no signs of slowing down. The enemy activates a bronze word attribute skill, Bullet Formation. This lets him convert his physical strength into an endless supply of bullets using a firearm. With a maniacal grin, the leader unleashes a barrage of bullets, shouting at the beast to feel their power. Ziai observes the chaos from afar, watching the boss get distracted by the attackers. He considers a clever strategy: maybe they don't need to defeat the boss at all. If the boss is occupied, they could steal the treasure undetected. While the red boss monster is fully occupied fending off a hail of bullets, Ziai and the others quietly watch from the bushes. The girl questions Ziai, asking if he plans to act like the fisherman in the tale, taking advantage while others fight. Ziai is confused by the metaphor, prompting Chengzi to smugly explain it with a visual. When the snipe and clam fight, the fisherman wins. Ziai silently reflects that Chengzi always finds ways to show off, but admits it's oddly impressive. Ziai admits he plans to take advantage of the situation and grab the treasure while the others fight. He says defeating the boss head-on would be too risky for their group. As he bends near the chest, the girl notices his arm is heavily eroded by the dungeon's effect and warns that if untreated, it could hinder his movement. She adds that it's extremely dangerous at the moment and he could die if he's not careful. Reaching into her pouch, she takes out a pill, explaining that it can resist erosion from low-level dungeons and offers one to each of them. Chengzi winces from the pain and complains that she should have handed over the pill earlier. Ziai then casually asks if the pill is expensive. Chengzi is stunned by Ziai's question, thinking about how expensive everything she's offered seems: entry fees, weapons, and now the pill, all far beyond their means. The girl responds calmly, saying the pill is actually cheap and maybe it's just that their settlement doesn't have access to such things. She smiles and adds that it's affordable, saying one could buy it with just a single note, downplaying its value despite its usefulness. Chengzi sighs in relief, thinking the pill might have cost 100 each, but Ziai calmly thanks the girl and promises to repay her. The girl watches Ziai and silently admires his character despite being poor. He values principles and avoids owing anyone. She reflects that if she had revealed the true value of the pill, which is 2,000, Ziai would have likely rejected it altogether. Suddenly, chaos erupts in the distance. A loud scream is heard and Ziai immediately dashes toward the scene, yelling for everyone to move away as the giant red beast rampages. The red beast brutally slams one of the men, sending him flying with blood spraying as others scream for caution. A man with a red scarf shouts in anger, begging the beast to stop and not harm his brother. The beast charges again with terrifying power, its back covered in sharp spikes, making it nearly impossible to approach safely. Despite the danger, the man unleashes a powerful word attribute skill, firing a barrage of glowing bullets at the beast with intense force. The red beast is struck by multiple bullets, but it barely flinches as its thick fur absorbs the impact. The man with the red scarf realizes one of the beast's seals enhances its defense, making it much harder to wound. The beast roars furiously as it withstands the attacks, showing no sign of backing down. The gunner, unfazed, taunts the beast with a crazed grin, vowing to finish it off and then capture a smaller prey for fun. The leader smirks confidently, telling his men there's no need to fear a beast after all the struggles they've overcome together. His gang forms a protective line in front of him, shouting to protect their big brother. One member orders the group to activate their seals and create an opening to support their leader in the fight. The system confirms activation of the Iron Wall Bronze Seal, which boosts their defense by 15%. The group of brothers activates their seals in perfect coordination, showing unexpected discipline and unity. Ziai observes the fight from a distance, surprised by their loyalty and strength, but remains focused on unlocking the treasure chest. He kneels in front of the treasure chest, prioritizing the lock above everything else happening around him. Ningyi asks if he can pick locks. Chengzi replies that he learned it while exploring beyond the settlement, confirming Ziai's skill. Ningyi softly admits she's never been outside the settlement and wonders what the outside world is like. Chengzi replies that he rarely leaves either, and even then, only through safe zones. He recalls Ziai's words how the outside world is decayed, yet still vibrant and alive, full of movement and danger. Ningyi reflects on this deeply, moved by the thought of a world beyond their shelter, both broken and beautiful. As he kneels before the chest, Chengzi reflects on what kind of world lies beyond. He carefully picks the lock, the tools clicking into place with precision. With a soft snap, the lock opens. He notes how similar it is to those outside, surprised by the familiarity. With anticipation, Chengzi smiles and wonders aloud what secrets the chest might be hiding inside. As Chengzi opens the chest, a massive explosion erupts behind him. He quickly braces himself, realizing the battle nearby has grown dangerously intense. The enraged beast charges forward, its body radiating power. The onlookers scream in panic, and Chengzi is shocked to discover the creature possesses a powerful seal. The seal activates mid-fight, unleashing a terrifying boost in the beast's strength and aggression. Flames erupt from its body as its aura intensifies. Chengzi watches the beast closely, stunned. He recognizes the glow in its eyes and starts connecting the dots. This isn't just a wild beast, it's something far more dangerous. The beast locks eyes with Ziai and charges at him with burning rage. Realizing it's targeting him, Ziai quickly prepares for battle. He grips his sword and braces himself. The air thickens with tension as the creature closes the distance. With flames bursting around it, the beast launches a direct attack. Ziai doesn't back down and confronts it head-on. As they clash, Ziai briefly wonders if the beast is still fighting this fiercely. Did the entire group really fall, or is something else going on? The wounded red scarf men unleash a barrage of gunfire to protect Ziai. One yells at him to run, warning that the beast is too powerful for him to handle. Accepting their fate, one declares that they're already dead men and tells Ziai not to waste his life. He shouts for the boy to escape quickly. Even in pain, they joke with pride, urging him to remember that the red scarf group saved his life. They laugh while pushing him to flee. One man places a bloodied hand on Zi's shoulder and gives a final command, "Go, kid!" Zi runs forward, visibly moved by their sacrifice. Zi is caught in the beast's overwhelming flames and desperately calls out for Yezi's help as the pressure becomes too much to handle. Yezi hears the plea and clenches his teeth, determined. He questions what kind of man he'd be if he ran away now after everything. Yezi's golden seal activates great proficiency by granting him the ability to detect weaknesses in targets he's locked eyes with. With glowing eyes and surging power, Yezi charges into battle, yelling to Chengzi to finish the beast off. Chengzi launches a precise attack, his blade slashing deep into the flaming beast's eye, landing a critical hit. The massive monster reels back in pain, its roar echoing as blood spurts out violently from the wound. A bloodied red scarf fighter watches in disbelief, stunned by what just happened. He realizes Chengzi has injured a level 10 dungeon boss using only a blade and a freshly activated seal, leaving him to wonder, who is this guy really? The monster activates its bronze seal heat flow conversion, which emits intense heat waves by converting its physical energy. He realizes he'll be burned if he attacks directly and must find a way to avoid close combat. He notes the beast has already used both of its seals, confirming its level 10 rank. The beast cleverly uses the surrounding heat as a weapon, forcing him to think fast to counter the incoming attack. The flaming beast charges forward, radiating intense heat and fury. Wounded members of the Red Scarf group gather strength. One declares this beast made him like this, but he won't back down. Another yells, "Kill it," while another urges, "Boy, all our lives depend on you." Zi activates the solo development gold seal and charges ahead, declaring he'll do his best. He immediately follows up with the activation of the fire enchantment bronze seal, igniting both arms with blazing energy. Zi activates all his offensive powers, determined to win. The beast roars, its HP at 30%, while Zi's is at 85%. The flaming beast leaps into the air for a deadly charge. Zi yells to Yezi, demanding the enemy's weakness be located. Yezi's eye locks on with precision. He shouts to Chengzi that the weak point is beneath the beast's left rib, tracking it via the stone's trajectory. Zi charges at the beast, aiming precisely under its left rib as instructed. He strikes with full force, his blade piercing deep into the beast's flaming hide. Engulfed in flames, Zi pushes through the heat, unleashing his full power. A flurry of slashes rain down as Zi repeatedly strikes the beast, tearing through it with relentless speed. Yezi shouts to Chengzi to finish the beast off with a final strike. A black-haired girl watches anxiously, wondering if Zi can truly win. A wounded man with a red scarf cheers him on, urging, "Boy, don't lose." Zi's eyes blaze with determination as he prepares to unleash everything in one final blow. The red-haired man holds the beast back. Zi refuses to run and activates his seal. Chengzi uses his eye skill to find the beast's weak spot under the left rib. Zi charges in, dodges the heat waves, and lands fast strikes. He hits the weak point with full power, defeating the flaming beast. Zi kills the flame spike Red Devil King with a final strike. Chengzi celebrates their win, running to Zi with the others. The purple-eyed girl warns that Zhao Cheng is badly burned and needs urgent care. Zi stands wounded. Chengzi and the girl rush to support him. Zi tells his team to look around while he rests near the fallen beast's body. Chengzi and the girl agree and begin scouting. Zi sits to recover. Zi silently heals, green light surrounding him from the recovery effect. A new seal activates, far ahead. His exp soars, gaining several levels at once. Zi activates the Book of Eternal Evolution, unlocking a new set of seals to choose from, including bronze and gold ones. Among the seals, options like Hardened Fur, Headshot, Metal Evolution, and Solo Development 2 appear. One of them is assumed to belong to the monster. Zi analyzes the Hardened Fur seal, noting it doesn't offer much visibly, but its hidden effect is powerful. He rejects the bullet-type seal since it requires an ancient weapon, which he currently can't afford to use. Zi wonders about the unknown effect of the Refresh Once gold seal, but is intrigued because it's a rare type. He chooses the gold seal despite not fully understanding it. The seal's ability is revealed. It resets all seal cooldowns once, and its own cooldown is 30 minutes. Zi realizes it's a powerful support seal that can let him unleash multiple abilities in quick succession if used wisely. Zi faces 3 powerful seal options but can only choose one. He selects the Solo Development 2 Gold Seal without hesitation. This seal boosts all attributes by 45% and allows a 3-minute boost of any attribute by 95%, with a 15-minute cooldown. Zi is impressed, realizing both effects have been significantly enhanced, giving him overwhelming power. Zi reaches level 7, just one level behind Zhao Jiji, and vows to catch up. Suddenly, the ground shakes, alarming the team. Chengzi explains it's not an earthquake, the dungeon is collapsing after the boss's death. A man named Qian Mengmeng praises Zi and declares him a friend, saying he now owes him a favor. Qian Mengmeng tells his group to leave, and they follow. The girl checks if Chengzi can move. She thinks he's quite heroic. Chengzi stands up, saying there's no issue, but they must escape quickly. As they run, they suddenly spot a hidden treasure chest nearby. The girl says she can carry many items and will store the loot. As per the deal, Chengzi returns her weapon. She tells him the rest is his. She promises to help him manage his settlement and mentions Liu Zi told her about it. The brown-haired boy warns they may be too late. Leaving now means they'll have to fight to survive. The girl clenches her fist, determined to make it in time. She and Chengzi rush into a glowing portal as the ground shakes. Zi reassures Chengzi he's prepared when called out. They emerge from the portal, seen by waiting enemies who alert Brother Zemo. The purple-haired man smirks, surprised they survived. He mentions Liu Zi's parents and claims an order was issued against them. As they exit the portal, he blocks their way with a cold warning. A crazed man appears, shouting, "Kill without mercy," with a terrifying grin. Zhao Cheng LV, 7 and Liu Zi LV, 4 step out of the portal, displaying their awakened traits. Liu Zi suggests hurrying to reunite with his father and the others. Zhao Zhai LV, 8 mocks them, confident they can't win, and orders his men to attack. A group of enemies charge forward, eager to claim the first kill. Boss Hu mocks Zhao Cheng and Liu Zi, ordering his men to butcher them and take the bounty. Zhao Cheng calmly prepares to draw his weapon as the enemies charge. With a focused expression, Zhao Cheng reacts without hesitation. He swiftly slashes through the attackers, calling them too slow. Zhao Cheng charges forward, taunting Zhao Jiji and showing he's no longer weak. The enemies are stunned. His blade moved so fast they couldn't react or even see it properly. Zhao Cheng stands calmly as the dimensional gate behind him begins to vanish. Zhao Jiji realizes the truth. The gate is disappearing because Zhao Cheng defeated the dungeon boss. Zhao Jiji mocks them, thinking someone else killed the boss and they just gained exp. He assumes they're only level 2 or 3 awakened and still too weak to face him. Zhao Cheng calmly responds, saying he's guessed completely wrong. Liu Zi proudly reveals that he was the one who killed the boss himself. Liu Zi begs Chengzi to let him act cool for a moment, enjoying the spotlight. Zhao Jiji is shocked and asks Liu Zi what trait he awakened. He starts thinking Liu Zi might be stronger than Zhao Cheng and considers targeting him first. Liu Zi confidently announces that he awakened a gold trait and warns Zhao Jiji that his death is near. Zhao Jiji commands his men to stall Liu Zi while he charges at Zhao Cheng. The men hesitate but obey, shouting at Liu Zi to prepare to die. They begin to realize Zhao Jiji tricked them. He feared Liu Zi's strength and used them as bait. Liu Zi quickly retreats and yells for Chengzi to handle the rest. Zhao Jiji strikes at Zhao Cheng with full force, yelling "Die" and clashing blades with him. He's shocked by Zhao Cheng's heavy strength, realizing it surpasses a typical level 4. He deduces this strength doesn't match the Mist Dark Forest's rank. Zhao Cheng shouldn't be this strong. Zhao Jiji activates his gold trait, Extreme Speed, confident that his agility will counter Zhao Cheng's brute force. Zhao Jiji charges with full speed, boasting that his level 8 stats plus a 30% speed boost make him unstoppable. He mocks Zhao Cheng, claiming trash like him could never keep up with his agility. But as Zhao Cheng matches every move, Zhao Zhiji panics. He can't understand how a level 4 could be this fast. Zhao Cheng counters while revealing how Zhao Zhiji used to harass him at home, destroying his house, beating him, and even stealing resources. Zhao Zhiji pins Ziai down in a broken room, demanding to know the location of the Awakening Stone. He grabs Ziai by the collar, yelling and repeatedly asking, "Where is it?" Zhao hits him hard, but Ziai stays silent, bleeding and exhausted. Ziai finally speaks, revealing he always knew Zhao came for the Awakening Stone and challenges him. "Do you even know what it means?" Ziai slams Zhao down, shouting at him to shut up. He recalls that his sister sacrificed herself to get the Awakening Stone for him. Multiple traits activate 2 gold-tier self-development skills, and a flame enchantment combine into a deadly ability, Headshot Strike. With burning eyes and rage, Ziai lifts his sword, declaring the attack carries 3 years of bottled-up hatred. With flames blazing, Ziai charges down, shouting that it's his rage for Zhao trying to steal his sister's legacy. Zhao panics, realizing Ziai is still accelerating, and he can't keep up. Ziai roars that even humiliation won't stop him from protecting what his sister left behind. He slashes down with all his power, landing a direct, blazing hit on Zhao. Ziai stands tall, declaring he'll repay all the humiliation Zhao Zhiji caused him over the past 3 years. Seeing Zhao defeated, the enemy henchmen panic and urge each other to run quickly. But Ziai's sharp glare halts them in their tracks, filled with fury and determination. He reminds them they also bullied him, and with a fiery spinning slash, he attacks without hesitation. Ziai unleashes a final powerful slash, flames swirling around him with deadly precision. He stands firm, declaring that his 3 years of vengeance have finally been fulfilled. His friend gives a thumbs up, cheering him on and praising his awesome display. Then he notices a shiny object in Zhao Zhiji's pocket and asks if it might be a treasure. He pulls out a small object from Zhao Zhiji's pocket and says, "It's a pearl bracelet." His friend stares at it with wide eyes, shocked. They rush through a tunnel. He's convinced his mom and others were taken to the settlement's management office. Holding the pearl bracelet tightly, he says this was his mom's favorite and she'd never give it away. Memories of his mother flood his mind as he silently prays, "Mom, please be safe." His friend reassures him that Aunt Zhang must still be alive, and he nods, determined to keep going. Yezi believes Chengzi's words. He knows Chengzi never speaks without reason. Chengzi tries to reason that Aunt Zhang might still be safe due to her beauty and the settlement's need for women. Yezi panics and yells, saying Chengzi's analysis is just making him more terrified. Despite the fear, both of them charge ahead into the settlement, watched by ominous figures in the shadows. Chengzi tells Yezi to focus. The management office is right ahead. They rush toward it urgently, passing under the building marked Management Office No. 23. Yezi spots Liu Ziai and Zhao Cheng standing nearby and calls out to them. The red-haired girl urgently warns them to leave. Something terrible has just happened. Chengzi asks Xiaoyu what she's doing here. She reveals Uncle Liu's group is fighting the manager's thugs. She warns them Zhao Zhiji is coming and urges them to leave now before it's too late. Yezi hesitates, thinking about his parents, overwhelmed by the danger. The crowd explains his parents went ahead to fight, but they couldn't follow since Fan Dahu, Zhang Zun, and Zhao Zhiji are all awakened and too powerful for ordinary people. A man explains old Liu led a group to fight Fan Dahu after hearing about a dimensional instance, but their enemies are too powerful. The girl urges Yezi and Chengzi to escape, knowing they can't win this fight. Yezi refuses, saying he won't run. His parents are still inside. Determined, Yezi declares that even if he dies, he'll die with them. Yezi tells Chengzi to escape using the chaos, reminding him Zhao Zhuge is already dead. But Chengzi refuses, saying Uncle Liu helped him and Aunt Zhang treated him like a son. He remembers how Yezi's family secretly fed him for 3 years, saving him from starvation. Chengzi says Zhao Zhuge's actions were backed by Fan Dahu, and now he's part of this fight too. Yezi is surprised and emotional, calling out to Chengzi. Chengzi smiles and says they'll live and die together as brothers. Meanwhile, people are shocked that Zhao Cheng killed Zhao Zhuge, a powerful level 8 awakened. Inside the management office, a bruised and bound man yells, "Liu Fu, you've got some nerve." Fan Dahu, the level 10 manager with powerful traits, mocks the man for thinking he can challenge him with just a few people. The man accuses Fan Dahu of killing his mom and harming others, including targeting his son. Fan Dahu smugly claims the man's rebellion is his own fault for being weak and emotional. He cruelly suggests replacing his dead son and humiliates him further by threatening his wife, showing no mercy. Fan Dahu grabs the woman and mocks her husband, saying he'll borrow her for a few days. She resists fiercely, shouting she'd rather die than give in to a scumbag like him. Angered, Fan Dahu violently slams her to the ground, showing no mercy. With a sinister glare, he mocks the dead man, saying he'll continue the torment anyway. The father, enraged, challenges Fan Dahu to fight him instead of bullying women. Fan Dahu grins darkly and agrees he'll kill him first, then toy with his wife. Pretending to be merciful, Fan Dahu coils his fist with deadly intent. With a wild swing, Fan Dahu lunges forward, declaring he'll give him a quick death. The wife screams, "Husband," in despair, tears in her eyes. Lu Fu smiles through his wounds, declaring he'll still be her husband in the next life. With both arms raised, he activates a powerful, glowing ability. A massive energy wave is unleashed into the sky, witnessed by Chengzi and Xie. Zhao Cheng and his companion confront Fan Dahu, declaring their intent to kill him. Lu Fu sees them and realizes his son is alive, shocked that he survived the dimensional instance. Fan Dahu mocks them, calling them weaklings. Lu Fu, still chained, urges Zhao Cheng to flee immediately before it's too late. Zhao Cheng's companion activates a skill, aiming to exploit a weakness, and declares they're here to save Lu Fu. He uses a slingshot skill to launch a precise attack toward the enemies holding Lu Fu and his wife. One of the boys launches an explosive surprise attack that strikes a guard. Smoke suddenly fills the area, catching the enemies off guard. Fan Dahu suspects it's a feint or a distraction tactic. He quickly warns his men not to let the enemies rescue the captured awakened beings. A figure descends swiftly from the smoke, sword aimed downward. The enemy lies on the ground, unaware of the incoming strike. The white-haired boy's eyes glow red with power. He declares with intensity, "Your opponent is me." The white-haired boy dives down, striking fiercely through smoke. Fan Dahu, glowing red-eyed, says killing the leader will solve everything. He mocks the boy, claiming he's unqualified to be his opponent. Their weapons clash violently as the battle begins. The white-haired boy charges in with determination, facing a tough opponent. He recognizes Zhang Kun as the strongest fighter in the settlement. Zhang Kun activates his gold trait, summoning 2 clones each with 70% of his power. Feared by all, Zhang Kun is known as the Mad Dog for crippling and killing countless people. One of Zhang Kun's clones grabs a civilian, threatening with brutal force. He charges in with deadly intent, confident no one can withstand him. His attack is suddenly blocked mid-air, shocking him completely. Stunned, Zhang Kun demands to know who this mysterious hooded fighter is. Zhao Cheng coldly warns that his opponent will fall just like Zhao Zhiji did. The enemy mocks him, calling him the one who sold his sister for an awakening stone. He lunges forward with a powerful slash aimed at Zhao Cheng. But Zhao activates his fiery trait, igniting his blade with explosive energy. Zhao unleashes a fiery blast, striking the masked attacker with explosive force. The enemy taunts him, asking if he got mad because the insult hit a nerve. Zhao roars with fury, flames spiraling around him as he charges. He dashes forward like a blazing missile, aiming to end the fight in a single blow. The enemy realizes Zhao's attack rhythm hasn't changed. His earlier provocation didn't faze him at all. Despite Zhao's young appearance, his combat maturity and strategic control make him hard to deal with. The masked attacker begins to panic, admitting he's struggling to keep up with Zhao's trait-enhanced aggression. Desperate, he activates his gold trait, creating 2 powerful clones linked to his mind for a last-ditch counterattack. The masked enemy is determined to kill Zhao immediately before he grows any stronger. Zhao uses his flame-enhanced trait to counter the clones, confusing the enemy with unpredictable moves. Zhao shouts that he's already rescued their family, urging Chengzi to focus. Meanwhile, Chengzi is supported by an ally who promises to join the battle soon. Zhao tells Yezi to rescue An Chang and the others while he handles the enemy. The masked man mocks Zhao, saying they won't let him win by rescuing the others. Zhao realizes something is wrong with Uncle Liu and the others. Chengzi yells that everyone is coughing blood, they've all been poisoned. Zhao realizes the truth about the setup and clenches his fist in anger. Fan Dahu mocks him, revealing Zhao Zhiji was just sent to test his strength. Fan Dahu says he predicted this outcome the moment Zhao entered the dimensional instance. He orders Zhang Kun to withdraw his clones so he can talk to Zhao directly. Fan Dahu mocks Zhao Cheng's courage, offering him Zhao Zhiji's position if he surrenders. Zhao listens in silence while being surrounded by clones and enemies. One ally confirms that Chengzi had nothing to do with the rebellion, and their plan was only to rescue their loved ones. Injured uncles begin to cough more blood, their condition worsening rapidly. One of the men realizes they're only dragging Chengzi down by involving him in their family's battle. He imagines the enemy's overwhelming power and the danger Chengzi is facing alone. Knowing Chengzi will die too if he stays, he holds his father and feels helpless. The injured father weakly tells his son not to involve Zhao Cheng, saying it's a Liu family matter. The son kneels beside his father and gently says he understands what must be done. With tears in his eyes, he begs Chengzi to drop his weapon and not die with them. He shouts that Chengzi will always be his brother, no matter what happens. Choking back emotion, he urges Chengzi again, dropping the blade is the best choice. One villain mocks Zhao Cheng, claiming he's smart enough to survive by becoming a dog. Zhao Cheng shouts for Liu Ziai to shut up and stop spouting nonsense. With fire in his eyes, Zhao Cheng says he'd never betray his friends. His sister never raised him to be like that. He leaps into action, roaring that as long as they kill the enemy, that's all that matters. Zhao Cheng charges forward, shouting that if they fight, they all can survive. His friend cries out, "Chengzi," worried as he watches the scene unfold. The bearded enemy widens his eyes, shocked by Zhao Cheng's decision. Brother who gives the order, and the masked assassin charges forward, vowing to cut off Zhao Cheng's head. The assassin yells that this time he'll definitely kill Zhao Cheng. Zhao Cheng smirks, activates his trait, and says he was thinking the same. Their clash creates a powerful explosion of light and energy. Zhao Cheng fiercely clashes with multiple enemies, his attacks glowing with energy. The assassin is shocked Zhao Cheng's strength has suddenly multiplied, overpowering him. He realizes the flaming blade was a distraction. Zhao Cheng's real trait is a strength boost. Furious, the assassin calls him a trickster, realizing he was set up for a perfect counterattack. The assassin reminds Zhao Cheng he still has 2 clones, claiming strength alone won't save him. Zhao Cheng realizes he's overwhelmed and urgently tries to think of a way out. The enemy seize the moment, shouting to shoot Zhao Cheng midair where he can't dodge. A red-haired archer prepares to fire, aiming directly at Zhao Cheng with lethal intent. Zhao Cheng tries to dodge a barrage of arrows while midair, but he's at a disadvantage. Despite not being awakened, the attackers are highly trained and physically strong. Zhao Cheng realizes he can't block all the arrows with his current speed. The enemies aim precisely, shouting to shoot his eyes and head to bring him down. Zhao Cheng struggles midair, thinking of throwing his dagger at the crossbowman. He hesitates, fearing if it's intercepted, he'll lose his weapon and fall into a disadvantage. Suddenly, he spots help arriving and shouts "Yezi" with a hopeful smile. Chengzi jumps into action, activating his weapon to support Zhao Cheng from the ground. Yezi releases another smoke bomb from above, confusing the enemies on the ground. The smoke is unusual sharp and irritating, making it hard for the enemies to see. Zhang Kun realizes too late that it's not normal smoke. Yezi used quicklime to burn their eyes. Zhao Cheng watches and thinks how useful Yezi's tricks have turned out to be in this situation. Zhao Cheng quickly identifies the attacker's slower speed and realizes it's just a clone. Determined, he decides to cut down one of the clones first to thin their numbers. He strikes, but the clone shows no reaction or hesitation even after being hit. He notices that the clone doesn't feel pain, making it harder to deal with than expected. Zhao Cheng realizes that just injuring the clone isn't enough. He must completely stop its movement. He slashes fiercely, aiming to cut the clone in half with a powerful strike. The attack successfully hits, disrupting the clone and causing a visible reaction. The enemy is shocked and furious, shouting at Zhao Cheng for damaging his clone. Zhao Cheng realizes that damaging the clone hurts the original, so he keeps moving to avoid being targeted. The enemy's lackeys spot Zhao Cheng and prepare to fire. He knows his strength boost is running out. Determined, Zhao Cheng focuses, eyes glowing, ready to end things quickly. With a fiery slash, he charges with full power, declaring this attack will settle everything once and for all. Zhao Cheng closes in, and the hooded enemy finally corners him, vowing not to let him escape again. The enemy panics, realizing he can't summon another clone until the cooldown ends. Zhao Cheng remains calm and determined, knowing this is the moment to end it. With a fierce slash, he charges straight at his enemy with full force. Zhao Cheng's buff trait, Self-Development, expires mid-fight, leaving him vulnerable. The hooded enemy smirks, pointing out the loss of strength and mocking Zhao Cheng's low level. He lunges with a powerful strike, claiming it carries level 9 power and dares Zhao to block it. Confident in victory, the enemy yells, "I won," before the clash lands. Zhao Cheng smirks and activates his trait again, boosting his strength with Self-Development Roman 2. He unleashes a powerful strike, catching the enemy off guard. The enemy panics, realizing Zhao's strength is now even higher than before. With a cold glare, Zhao declares his challenge, ready to strike with overwhelming force. Zhao delivers a devastating slash, overwhelming his opponent with sheer force. With a bloodied face and cold glare, he mocks, "Looks like you couldn't withstand it." The enemy is violently launched into the air, completely overpowered. Everyone watches in shock as the enemy falls, defeated. One boy, stunned, says Chengzi really did it. The survivors talk among themselves, amazed by Chengzi's strength and feeling a glimpse of hope. A bald man stares ahead in disbelief, acknowledging that Chengzi actually managed to kill Kunzi. The white-haired boy steps forward and declares it's the bald man's turn now. He accuses the man of all the evil he's committed in the settlement over the years. The bald man laughs, saying he's done nothing wrong. He calls himself a hero and claims many lives were saved under his leadership. He justifies his actions, even boasting that a woman would have been taken by other settlements if not for his intimidating presence. The brown-haired boy furiously aims his weapon at Fan Da, who, demanding he stop hurting his mom. He fires a powerful shot, but Fan Da, who calmly raises his arm. Fan Da, who catches the stone projectile with his bare hand and mocks the boy for being too weak to harm him. The boy is shocked his attack had weakness detection, and even Chengzi would have had trouble stopping it. Fan Da, who steps forward and prepares to attack, telling the boy he'll show him real power. He charges aggressively, throwing a powerful strike toward the boy. The brown-haired boy is stunned by the speed and intensity of the attack, realizing how violent it is. Fan Da, whose strike crashes down with explosive force, overwhelming the boy. Yezi calls out to Chengzi and is instructed to keep using smoke bombs, as their opponent is an awakened being above level 10. Chengzi firmly states they must use every tactic they have if they want to kill him. Yezi responds with determination, launching another smoke bomb. However, Fan Da, who ambushes him from above and slams him into the ground before he can act again. Fan Da Hui slams Yezi into the ground, calling him a bug and warning him not to interrupt the fight. Chengzi shouts Yezi's name in anger after witnessing the attack. Furious, Chengzi charges at Fan Da Hui with a glowing blade, calling out his name. He strikes down with great power, causing Fan Da Hui to admit Chengzi's strength and acknowledge why Jiang Kun was defeated by him. Fan Da Hui comments on Chengzi's power coming from an awakened trait, estimating his level to be below 8. He admits Chengzi could have been a match if his level were higher. As they clash, Chengzi realizes Fan Da Hui's strength after surpassing level 10 is on another level, even stronger than the wild boar boss. Fan Da Hui tries to reason with Chengzi, claiming he already killed Jiang Kun and Zhao Zhiji, and offers him power and status if he joins him. Chengzi furiously rejects the offer, saying Fan Da Hui has harmed too many people. He calls the newcomers thugs, denying any justification for joining him. Chengzi calls out Fan Da Hui's recruits as nothing but scoundrels, accusing them of bullying, stealing, and committing all kinds of evil. He firmly declares that he'll never stoop low enough to join someone like Fan Da-Hui. Fan Da-Hui scoffs at Chengxi's heroic resolve and mocks his ideals. With lightning surging around him, Fan Da-Hui prepares to attack, saying he'll help Chengxi die like a hero. Fan Da-Hui claims the apocalypse is crueler than Chengxi imagines and justifies his actions. He says without his firm control, their settlement would have been lost long ago. Fan Da-Hui activates his first trait, Gigantic Body, greatly boosting his HP and defense. Chengxi responds by activating his own trait, Flame Enchantment, ready to counter. Fan Da-Hui defends his actions, saying he protected everyone during the apocalypse and only asked for a share of supplies. He mocks the idea of compassion, claiming people aren't like the kind-hearted old man the others trusted. In a flashback, a boy asks his injured father if he got hurt again while fighting. The father reassures him, calling the wound a badge of honor and proudly declaring himself the hero of the settlement. In a flashback, a boy recalls watching his father, the so-called hero, die a tragic death while protecting others. He mocks the idea of being a hero, calling it foolish to take pride in thankless sacrifices. As flames surround both fighters, Fan Da-Hui charges forward, questioning if his opponent truly wants to be a hero. He explodes with rage and power, shouting that he hates people like him the most. Fan Da-Hui mocks him again, repeating his question about wanting to be a hero. He yells that the boy should die and be a hero in the underworld, attacking with force. The silver-haired boy blocks the attack and notices that Fan Da-Hui's strength hasn't increased despite using a trait. Realizing the trait-boosted defense, not power, he decides to use Refresh Once to reset all cooldowns and fight at full power. The silver-haired boy activates Refresh Once, resetting all his skill cooldowns. He unleashes the gold trait Self-Development, increasing his strength by 10x for 15 minutes and challenges Fan Da-Hui with renewed power. Fan Da-Hui is shocked, realizing the boy's strength is still rising. As Fan Da-Hui charges forward, he wonders if the boy awakened an explosive type trait. The boy activates Self-Development 2, determined to go all out and not give Fan Da-Hui any chance to attack. He launches forward with explosive force, catching Fan Da-Hui off guard. Fan Da-Hui is shocked by the sudden increase in the boy's strength and feels the pressure despite his massive body. The boy strikes with fiery power, pushing Fan Da-Hui back with overwhelming strength. Fan Da-Hui realizes the boy's strength doesn't seem normal. He doubts it's coming from just one trait. He notices the flame effect is still burning on his body, and suspects it's not a trait but some kind of trick. As the boy charges with blazing intensity, Fan Da-Hui grows fearful, thinking he'll be the one to die if this continues. Deciding he needs a different strategy, Fan Da-Hui sees the boy as someone he might be able to exploit. Fan Da-Hui activates his second gold trait, Bravery, boosting his strength by 30%, and yells at Zhao Cheng not to underestimate him. Zhao Cheng observes the trait boost is minimal and concludes his own trait advantage is still superior. Zhao Cheng lunges forward with his flaming blade, determined to end the fight now. He shouts to cut him down and prepares a powerful final strike aimed directly at Fan Da-Hui. Fan Da-Hui spots an opening and decides to take a hit if needed to gain a chance to breathe. Zhao Cheng is shocked that his strike wasn't blocked. Zhao Cheng realizes too late Fan Da-Hui sacrificed his arm to escape. His real target is Yi Zai. Fan Da-Hui slashes at Yi Zai, landing a sudden and critical blow. Fan Da-Hui grabs Yi Zai and mocks Zhao Cheng, saying the pain was worth it since Zhao fell for his plan. He holds Yi Zai hostage and threatens to twist his neck if Zhao doesn't drop the blade. Zhao Cheng is stunned that Fan Da-Hui would resort to such a dirty tactic. Fan Da-Hui shouts that in this apocalypse, only survival matters, then demands Zhao drop the blade immediately or Yi Zai dies. Zhao Cheng realizes that if he drops his dagger, his traits will go on cooldown, making him powerless against Huan. He's torn if he doesn't drop the dagger, Yezi will die. He panics, unsure of what to do. A flashback shows a man pleading with Fan Da-Hui to stop. He questions why rebellion only came now after years of oppression. Fan Da-Hui coldly blames everything on the man's son, calling him a failure who didn't even react when his mother died in pain. The man explains that they all felt indebted to the boy's father, which is why they acted the way they did. Surprised, the boy questions being indebted to his father. The man says his father was a hero, admired by everyone in the settlement. A flashback shows him fighting off enemies alone. He sacrificed his life to stop the plunder from Settlement 119, preventing an even worse disaster. The boy says they tolerated everything he did because he was a hero's son. They hoped he'd change and become like his father, the hero of their settlement. But a year ago, he overheard a conversation that changed everything. Two men talked about their boss moving to Settlement 119, soon to become deputy manager, abandoning their current place. They mocked the current settlement, calling it a dump, and looked forward to eating meat in the new city while leaving everyone else to suffer. The boy angrily accuses the man of abandoning their home to serve the very people who killed his father, reminding him that his dad died from wounds caused by Settlement 119. But the man snaps, saying his dad deserved to die. In this apocalyptic world, anyone who tries to be a hero is asking for death. He shouts that he's not like his foolish father and won't stay trapped here. He wants to join them and reach a bigger world, maybe even enter the company. While holding Ziai hostage, he threatens Zhao Cheng, if he doesn't drop the blade by the count of 3, he'll kill Ziai himself. Zhao Cheng hesitates, sweating as he reaches the final second of the countdown. The hostage, Ziai, remains in danger. Suddenly, a convoy of vehicles marked Settlement No. 119 inches speeds into the scene, grabbing everyone's attention. The man holding Ziai sees the trucks and realizes that Settlement 119 has arrived to pick him up. Fan Dahu laughs loudly and shouts at the approaching convoy from Settlement No. 119, announcing himself and demanding their help to eliminate the rebels. The lead vehicle screeches to a halt as Fan Dahu watches eagerly, expecting support. Multiple armed men from the convoy quickly disembark, readying themselves for confrontation. Ziai assesses the situation, worried and thinking fast. Although escape is an option, he knows that abandoning Yezi, Uncle Liu, and Aunt Zhang would lead to their deaths. He resolves not to leave Yezi behind. Fan Dahu mocks Zhao Cheng, shouting that even if Zhao can fight, it won't matter because he now has more men on his side, assuring Zhao's defeat. Suddenly, a voice interrupts, asking who was shouting earlier. A stylish man steps out of the vehicle. He's Mei Mimi, the current manager of Settlement No. 119. Fan Dahu quickly tries to flatter the new arrival, nervously identifying himself and calling it an honor to see Manager Zhang in person. But without hesitation, Fan Dahu is knocked down with a powerful hit from one of the newcomers, stunning everyone. Fan Dahu excitedly greets the manager, boasting that being picked up personally must be a blessing from several lifetimes. Meanwhile, the silver-haired boy checks on Yezi and confirms he's still breathing. He silently notes that the manager in front of him must be the same one Uncle Liu mentioned, someone from a massive base of thousands. As he watches Fan Dahu align with this powerful figure, he reflects that Fan Dahu has truly betrayed his father's memory by siding with the very man responsible for his death. Realizing the danger, he notes that the manager's presence is even more terrifying than Fan Dahu or the Red Demon Boars, and admits that, as he is now, he stands no chance against him. The silver-haired boy warns Fan Dahu not to act familiar with him and threatens to crush his skull if he can't provide answers. He states he's looking for someone. Fan Dahu nervously laughs and assures Manager Zhang that if he gives a name, he'll bring that person over immediately. He silently wonders why the manager doesn't seem to recognize him, despite the lay brothers saying they passed along his name. Manager Zhang then asks if there is someone named Zhao Cheng in the settlement. His subordinates begin checking the list. Fan Dahu quickly points toward Zhao Cheng and accuses him of rebelling, shouting that he's going against the company. The bearded man excitedly believes Manager Zhang has come to support him and assumes Zhao Cheng is finished. Manager Zhang questions if Zhao Cheng is rebelling and trying to seize control of the settlement. Fan Dahu confirms it, accusing Zhao Cheng of cutting off his arm and demanding justice. Manager Zhang looks at the white-haired boy and asks if he is Zhao Cheng. Zhao Cheng admits his identity with a simple yes. Manager Zhang doubts Fan Dahu's story, questioning how a rookie like Zhao could sever the arm of someone supposedly qualified as a level 10 awakened being. Fan Dahu tries to explain there's something Zhang doesn't know. Zhang ignores him and shoots a glowing device directly into Fan Dahu's eye, ending the conversation abruptly. One of Manager Zhang's men eliminates a subordinate, stating Zhao Cheng's identity is confirmed and the man is no longer needed. Zhao Cheng prepares himself as the truck crashes down, signaling the next stage of confrontation. Ziai realizes Zhang has finished off Fan Dahu and plans to seize control of the settlement. He warns Changzi that they're next. Manager Zhang explains that a higher authority gave him orders to assist Zhao Cheng due to his growing threat, and declares he's now here to help him. Zhao Cheng, still cautious, asks how he can trust the stranger claiming to help. The man acknowledges his caution and reaches into his pocket. He explains that the one who sent him said Zhao Cheng would believe after seeing a specific item. Upon seeing the compass, Zhao Cheng is shocked it belongs to Guanju. He realizes she truly sent help. Zhao Cheng is shocked, realizing Guanju must have a mysterious and powerful background to command a high-level settlement manager. The silver-haired man reveals that the higher-up also sent something else for Zhao Cheng. He delivers essential supplies, including preserved meat, fish, and flour, boosting morale among the people. Finally, he hands over an official management credential for Settlement 226, explaining that without it, the previous manager wasn't officially recognized by the company. The silver-haired man offers the credential, stating Zhao Cheng can now become the official manager of the settlement. Zhao Cheng reflects on how Uncle Liu fought hard and risked everything to obtain this right. The man encourages Zhao Cheng to accept it, calling him the most suitable person for the position. Zhao Cheng agrees to accept it, thinking he owes Guanju a debt and will find a way to repay her. The silver-haired man instructs the medic to help the injured, and the team responds promptly. He then mentions that the higher-up also sent something else, but it's up to Zhao Cheng whether to accept it. Zhao Cheng asks what it is. The man invites him to Settlement No. 119 for a trial. If Zhao Cheng passes, he'll get a chance to join the company. After the world fell into an apocalyptic era thousands of years ago, the Brahma Company rose as the savior of the Eastern Continent and eventually became its true ruler. All settlements and people in the Eastern Continent are now fully under the company's control. Ordinary citizens take pride in joining the company. Joining the company is seen as a massive leap in life, offering unmatched resources like housing, food, and security, making it a world apart from average citizens. For everyone in the Eastern Continent, joining the Brahma Company is considered the highest goal of their life, their ultimate dream. He is asked again whether he will go to Settlement No. 119 to participate in the trial or stay as the manager of Settlement No. 226, but the choice is his. He remembers that the company took his sister. If he wants to bring her back, he must go to the company. Though the moment feels right, he hesitates. Medics are busy treating the injured villagers, showing the aftermath of a recent struggle and the need for leadership. Looking around, he realizes that someone must step up and calm the people. The man in the pink jacket gives him 2 days to decide. He says he'll wait and wants a clear answer within that time. The white-haired boy simply responds with thanks, showing a slight smile. As he walks away, others wonder how such an ordinary guy is connected to someone powerful enough to send such reinforcements. The man in pink can't figure it out either, but he decides to claim credit for the reinforcement. He starts to consider controlling the boy to rise further in the company's ranks. A fire is lit at the center of the gathering. A man announces that everyone from Settlement No. 226 in Zhigang District is present. He prepares to share some important announcements with the crowd. He states that Zhao Cheng has defeated the enemies and earned the company's recognition. Everyone agrees that Zhao Cheng should now become the new manager of their settlement. Zhao Cheng is recommended as the most suitable person to manage the settlement, but he points to Uncle Liu instead. A woman agrees, saying the settlement needs someone strong like Zhao Cheng to protect it, but Uncle Liu would be better. Zhao Cheng says he won't stay forever since he needs to find his sister, and the Liu family is strong enough to handle protection. Others agree with Zhao Cheng. They acknowledge that Uncle Liu and his brothers are powerful awakened beings, and Liu Fu's personality makes him an ideal manager. The man reflects on the danger of gaining power, worrying he might become corrupt like Fan Dahu. Others acknowledge that Fan Dahu's father was a hero, but Fan Dahu turned bad. They agree no one can predict someone's future. As the moment arrives, the man's wife encourages him to proceed, and everyone waits for his next move. He holds up a book titled Law, sharing that both he and his son love reading. He believes, like ancient nations, they too can be governed by the rule of law. The man explains they created 15 laws while resisting Fandahu, and from now on, everyone must follow them. These laws will be revised every year based on new events. One man questions whether laws are more useful than a manager. Another replies that laws for everyone to follow sound fairer than obeying one person. People recognize that Uncle Liu and Yezi are educated and capable. The boy realizes Uncle Liu made detailed preparations for this day. Feeling assured that the settlement is in good hands, the boy is finally free to leave and begin his search for his sister. The boy walks away alone under the night sky, thinking to himself that from now on, he'll be like a lone wolf, no longer having friends like Yezi by his side. Yezi suddenly shouts at him, asking if he still sees him as a brother while leaving without saying a word. Yezi warns Chengzi that without him, he'll fall into traps and get tricked often. He playfully shows off, saying he, the young master, just can't stop worrying about him. Smiling warmly, Chengzi asks if Yezi came just to say goodbye. Yezi refuses to say goodbye and declares he's going with Chengzi. He insists that Chengzi can't become great without him. Yezi refuses to say goodbye and declares he's going with Chengzi. He insists that Chengzi can't become great without him. Yezi explains that he left them a note and plans to return after making a name for himself. He confidently proclaims that he'll come back and marry Xiaoyu once he becomes famous. Chengzi tells Yezi to head back quickly, or else Uncle Liu and the others will begin to worry. As Chengzi walks away, Yezi grabs his cloak and calls his name, stopping him. Yezi recites an ancient verse about the mighty rock soaring high, suggesting Chengzi is that rock taking flight. A large bird flies under the full moon, and Yezi quietly admits he also wants to soar like Chengzi. Ziai looks up at the sky and says the world is vast, and he refuses to remain a nobody. He says the fire stirred up by Chengzi, the great rock, has ignited something inside him. Chengzi turns back, surprised by Ziai's sudden determination. Ziai tells Chengzi that if he ever gets tired or hurt, it's okay to stop, he won't blame him. The silver-blue-haired man smokes silently, watching Ziai and Chengzi walking together. He looks outside and comments with a faint smile that the wind's picking up. As the truck drives under the moonlight, the driver praises their skills and says it's his first mission with manager Zhang, adding that Zhang really values them both. Ziai silently reflects that Yezi couldn't truly bear to leave, since unlike him, Yezi has emotional ties back home. Ziai looks thoughtful as he considers changing the topic to distract Yezi and help him feel better. He hesitates but then prepares to ask a question, unsure if he should bring it up. Ziai asks if the driver is the one he should speak to, and the man replies confidently, offering to answer anything he knows. Ziai then bluntly asks if Settlement No. 119's manager really killed the previous manager of Settlement No. 226. The driver awkwardly laughs, unsure how to respond, while Chengzi is left in shock. Chengzi realizes Ziai was just trying to change the topic, but it only made things more awkward. He mentally complains that Ziai always ruins the mood with his clueless timing, as all three sit silently in awkward tension. The driver reveals manager Zhang killed the last manager 7 years ago, just like others before him. Unlike past leaders, Zhang focused on internal growth, improving life in the settlement. Workers now respect him. The driver says everyone likes Zhang for making things better. He adds, if someone can kill the current manager, they become the new one. The boy finally gets it. Chengzi's explanation misses the point again, confusing everyone. Suddenly, the silver-haired boy smells something foul in the wind. He warns that mutated beasts from the wild are nearby. Outside, two blood-stained beasts silently watch the moving vehicle. The beasts begin attacking the vehicle, prompting confusion about why it's always wolves. The silver-haired boy explains they're mutated mutts, not wolves. Wolves are smarter. The beasts climb the vehicle. The boy with the headband praises Chengzi for identifying them. Chengzi stays calm, saying they've fought them before and manager Zhang is far stronger than they think. A man in the backseat calmly tells everyone to cover their ears. The red-haired subordinate obeys. The silver-haired boy flinches as he hears a loud sound outside the vehicle. A powerful beastly roar blasts outward, accompanied by a command to back off. The red-haired man activates his trait, Beast King's Roar, a powerful gold-ranked ability. The Beast King's roar blasts outward, creating a shockwave that sends the mutated beasts flying away from the vehicles. Ziai shields himself and realizes the power behind the sound. He identifies it as the red-haired man's trait. Chengzi also struggles against the pressure, but acknowledges it's a powerful sound-type trait and praises the man's strength. Chengzi then proudly reminds everyone that he already said Manager Zhang is incredibly powerful. The Mutts retreat again, just as expected. One comments that with Manager Zhang's trait, eliminating them is effortless. Bai Rong warns that Zhao Cheng is connected to a powerful figure, and what Ziai did might be seen as a provocation. Ziai shrugs off the concern, calling Zhao a pampered pretty boy and questions if he'll go cry to that big shot. Ziai emphasizes he climbed up step by step and despises those who rely on shortcuts. Ziai shuts down Bai Rong's hesitation, stating he controlled himself in public and wants no interference in his private actions. He declares his ambition to rise higher without groveling. As long as he remains useful to the big shots, they'll overlook minor matters. The group returns to Settlement 119. The announcement of Manager Zhang's return causes a stir as everyone clears the path. Guards salute and thank Manager Zhang for his efforts as the vehicle enters the base. Bai Rong leads the newcomers to an empty, worn-down house, explaining that all other homes are already occupied. The boys note the house is shabby and dusty, but still better than one's previous home because it keeps out the cold. Bai Rong gives them a paper and instructs them to read the trial instructions tonight, as issued by the company. He reminds them that they're not the only participants, many others are also competing in this trial. The boy says reading the instructions helps more than just hearing them. He breathes a sigh of relief while Bai Rong quietly observes him. Bai Rong wonders if this boy is really a pampered elite, noticing how he accepted the poor room without complaint. Bai Rong says he's leaving and that someone will be on duty outside. The boy thanks him for the help. After reading the instructions, the boy tells Chengzi that the trial is to clear a white rank dimensional instance. It has a level cap of 10, so it shouldn't be too hard compared to the one they cleared before. Ziai asks if the paper mentions how many participants are allowed or how many will pass. Chengzi checks. Chengzi says the instructions don't mention anything about that. Ziai guesses the trial might have 2 conditions to pass, while a dark image hints at chaos. Ziai concludes that the 2 conditions are kill the boss or survive against all the other participants. Chengzi says there's no mention of the number of participants or how many will pass. Agreeing with Ziai's guess, he explains participants come from everywhere, and the one who defeats the boss will be hunted by the rest. Ziai notes that defeating the boss has a heavy cost, but if one waits to claim the reward while others fight, it's much easier. A woman asks if Ziai plans to let others fight and take the reward himself, making him recall her suddenly. Chengzi smirks and teases Ziai, saying his expression makes it obvious it's his mating season, asking if he's thinking about that woman. Chengzi tells Ziai to sleep early since they have things to do tomorrow. He teases that Ziai is at the age where hormones go wild and should learn self-control, hinting about the girl. Ziai says that girl is not the same as them. Chengzi is told to shut it and go to sleep. Chengzi says if Ziai doesn't want to hear it, he'll stop talking and tells him to sleep, adding that once they pass the trial and join the company, they'll have status. Elsewhere, Bai Rong notes that from what he's seen, the person didn't show any sign of disdain. However, he says it's still possible the person is just hiding it well. The company's appointed examiner will arrive tomorrow, and he wants to see if the guy is truly capable. The subordinate asks why the boss cares so much about Zhao. The boss says Zhao reminded him of his younger self, with the same rare talent, oppression, and defiance. He notes that Zhao had a big shot asking for help on his behalf, something he never had back in his day. The boss admits he might just be a little jealous of Zhao. That jealousy might be the reason he cares. The blue-haired man questions if that's really the case. As the scene shifts to the next day, a large crowd gathers before a swirling portal, the entrance to the trial. Ziai remarks that he didn't expect so many people to be there. Chengzi explains that while awakening stones are rare in their area, they are fairly common in better-off settlements. Chengzi notes that while awakening stones are rare, it's even rarer to find someone who can clear a dimensional instance safely. The blue-haired man addresses the participants, reminding them of the rules survive and return to join the company. He hints at the benefits but doesn't go into detail, then wishes them good luck. Ziai notices a man named Zhang staring at them. Chengzi recognizes it as a provocation. Participants rush toward the portal, eager to gain experience and level up. Entering for free is a rare opportunity, and with so many people, hesitation might mean no monsters left to fight. Chengzi wonders why Zhang would provoke them. Zi guesses they might find out directly from him. Chengzi responds skeptically, and Zi admits he doesn't actually know. Frustrated, Chengzi questions why Zi acted so confident in the first place. A man advises the cloaked woman not to appear so openly, warning that the master would be displeased. She assures him she won't remove her cloak. She explains she's the examiner for this trial and is only surveying the area in advance. Inside the dimensional instance, someone notes it's a cave-type layout, just as expected. Participants are urged to choose a tunnel quickly and move forward, as sinister energy fills the area. A man says he'll take the left tunnel, claiming it's always his lucky side. Chengzi's companion asks which way they should go. Another man rushes over, exclaiming that he finally found the two of them. With a big smile, he declares that fate has brought them together as brothers. Chengzi and his friend recognize the man, calling him Driver Bro, and ask how he got in. He explains that people from settlement know 119 can also join the trial, and he wants a better future for his family. He suggests they team up and watch each other's backs. Chengzi's friend frantically signals him with his eyes. He suspects the man might be connected to the shady Zhang and asks Chengzi if he understands what he's trying to say. Chengzi nods, making his friend think he understood the hint and would reject the driver. Instead, Chengzi says they'll let him join the team, but he must pay 200 resource coupons. His friend is shocked, realizing that's not what he meant at all. The driver happily agrees, mentioning he earns 800 a month working for manager Zhang, leaving the friend speechless. A shadowy figure moves stealthily along the cave wall, unnoticed by the group. A green-haired girl watches from hiding, observing the scene carefully. The driver welcomes the green-haired girl into the group, calling himself second in command and Chengzi the boss, while assigning her as number 3. She finds the idea of being in a team a bit strange. She senses the aura of a radiant trait from Chengzi and knows joining them will greatly increase her survival chances, though she's not good at interacting with unfamiliar boys. Remembering her settlement and the people relying on her, she steels herself, determined not to die here. Meanwhile, Chengzi warns the driver about rushing in recklessly due to the many tunnels. He also points out that because of the driver's earlier delay, they're now far behind the other participants. The driver explains that this dimensional instance appeared recently and is said to be dangerous, so he hadn't dared to come before. Chengzi notes that visibility worsens the deeper they go and says in this kind of environment, they'll have no choice but to fight head-on if they encounter monsters. He adds that this place suits his style, perfectly straightforward fights without nonsense, impressing the driver, who admits he might have backed out alone. Zi internally notes that Chengzi's bluff only works on the driver, who doesn't really know him well. Zi warns the group to be quiet, sensing something approaching. The driver and Chengzi react in surprise while Zi grips his weapon, ready. Hua Ziomen, hiding nearby, panics, wondering if she's been found, fearing they might mistake her for an enemy, and unsure what to say if she approaches. Suddenly, an attack comes from the wall, with enemies emerging all around them. 3 chained monsters emerge from the wall, squeaking aggressively. Hua Ziomen sighs in relief, realizing they were talking about monsters, not her. Zi explains the monsters are level 6, 7, and 8, assigning Yezi and the driver to handle the tall and fat ones while he takes the strongest. He tells them to stall their opponents until he finishes his fight and comes to help. Yezi points out that their levels are much lower, and if Zi gets stalled by the level 8 rat, both he and the driver will surely die. The driver asks Zi for his plan. Excited, Zi says it's his time to shine and mentions an old strategy from an ancient book called Tian Jai's Horse Race. He explains they can use lower-class fighters to stall the enemy's upper-class ones, then have their upper-class fighters quickly defeat the enemy's lower-class fighters. Once the stronger allies finish, they can assist the others to end the fight faster. The driver wonders how to tell upper and lower class apart, and Zi explains it's based on level. Higher level means upper class, lower level means lower class. Zhao Chengzi, Zhang Dahua, and Liu Zi compare levels, revealing Zi is the lowest. Chengzi comments that makes him the lower class horse of the team, leaving Zi speechless. A chained monster approaches, its squeaks echoing through the tunnel. Zi gulps nervously as the monster closes in, clearly intimidated. When Chengzi asks if he plans to fight, Zi quickly refuses, saying they should stick to Chengzi's original plan. A swarm of monsters charges forward, much stronger than those from the previous dimensional instance, which worries Zhao Chengzi. Chengzi notes that even the Wolf King in the last instance was only level 5, making this place far more dangerous. Liu Ziai shouts for the driver to protect him while he targets the monster's eyes with his slingshot. The driver agrees. Ziai lands a precise shot, and the driver praises his accuracy. The driver shouts for Ziai to follow him so they can create more distance from the monsters, and Ziai agrees. Ziai recalls his past failure and vows not to be a burden to Chengzi anymore, determined to use all his skills to help. He launches a fierce attack on an approaching monster, striking it hard. The monster, clearly formidable, glares at him with glowing red eyes and lets out a menacing squeak. A system notification appears, revealing the monster's trait Polish Bronze, which reduces both damage and speed by 15%. The monster charges forward, letting out an aggressive squeak. Chengzi activates his own ability, Flame Enchantment, ready for battle. With a fiery strike, he clashes fiercely against the monster. With the stat boosts from his traits, Chengzi's physical strength now far exceeds his level, allowing him to defeat monsters of this rank with ease. A system prompt appears: the steel-clawed rat LV-8 is slain. His Far Ahead trait activates, increasing exp gain by 75%, showing his current exp at 34%. Noticing Yezi's low level, Chengzi decides to hurry and help them. Meanwhile, Yezi urges Driver Bro to keep running without stopping, and Driver Bro assures him not to worry as they flee from the pursuing monsters. Chengzi observes that Yezi and Driver Bro are performing better than expected, though Driver Bro has returned to his usual role as the driver. He notices something strange: the steel-clawed rats chasing them are about 30% slower compared to the one he fought earlier. Given their level difference, the speed gap shouldn't be this large since speed only increases by about 5% per level. He then realizes the rats' noses are wrinkled and suspects that someone is using a trait to interfere with their sense of smell. Chengzi notes that since the mysterious figure in the shadows has helped them, it shows he has no intention of fighting them for now. He decides they should focus on killing the 2 remaining rats first before questioning the person afterward. Liu Ziai uses his weakness detection ability, aiming precisely at the rats. The attack hits perfectly, striking both rats in their weak spots. Chengzi praises Liu Ziai's aim, calling it impressive. Liu Ziai boasts that with his awakened gold trait, dealing with trivial rats like these is no big deal. The steel-clawed rats communicate, deciding to use their special move. Liu Ziai notices the rats have suddenly stopped chasing them and wonders why. The steel-clawed rats suddenly start burrowing underground. Chengzi realizes what's happening and shouts that they're burrowing. Liu Ziai, confused, asks what's going on. Chengzi warns they're preparing an ambush. Liu Ziai picks up the pace, saying he'll speed up to avoid it. The rats burst out from underground, cutting off Chengzi and Liu Ziai. Chengzi realizes it's too late to avoid them. Liu Ziai panics as the rats close in, thinking he's doomed. He even worries about his life and blurts out that his wife will kill him. Nearby, Yezi sees the danger and urgently shouts that it's not good. Yezi activates her special gold trait, Olfactory Control, deciding to use all her strength to hold off the 2 rats. The rats gag and recoil from the foul stench, their senses overwhelmed. Seeing this opening, Zhao Cheng thinks this is the perfect chance. He charges forward with blazing speed, launching a fiery attack toward the rats. Zhao Cheng's trait Far Ahead boosts his exp gain by 75%. Yet even after killing 3 monsters, he notes how hard it is to level up at higher levels. Driver Bro tearfully praises Zhao Cheng for saving his future generations, but Zhao Cheng mocks him for being scared over a little damage. Chengzi is surprised to see his level rise from 4 to 5. Zhao Cheng congratulates him and then calls out to the hidden ally, thanking them and asking them to reveal themselves. Chengzi's companion asks if there's someone else present, wanting to know which friend it is. A green-haired girl appears, laughing and saying Chengzi had noticed her long ago. Realizing it's a girl, Driver Bro claims he also noticed her earlier. His friend doubts it, recalling how Driver Bro looked just as confused as him moments ago. The white-haired man reassures the green-haired girl, saying she's not their enemy since she helped them. He adds that they're grateful and owe her one. One of the guys asks if the girl had just helped them, and another admits he didn't know either. The white-haired man explains that the 2 mutated rats slowed down earlier because she secretly helped. Without her intervention, he says, they would have definitely gotten hurt. The 2 guys realize the rat paused earlier because of the green-haired girl's help, and one of them calls her his lifesaver. The white-haired man says if they meet again and it's within their power, they'll definitely help her with everything they have. The girl clenches her fists tightly. The purple-haired man says it's time to go, and the group leaves together. Hua Ziomen encourages herself not to miss this chance and nervously asks if she can join them. The purple-haired man thinks it might be good to have her join to help Chengzi forget a certain noble lady, while also noting Chengzi's charm. He tells Chengzi that since she helped earlier and is just a young girl, they should let her come along. The white-haired man warns that they're going to challenge the boss, and it's extremely dangerous, they could die. Hua Ziomen insists she came here to join the company, unafraid of dying because her family and settlement know. 347 is waiting for her to return with food. She says failing would be more painful than death itself. With determination, she bows deeply in front of the white-haired man. The white-haired man refuses her request, saying, "Sorry, no." His two companions are surprised, wondering why the situation turned out differently than expected. She nervously asks if he can at least tell her the reason. He explains the first reason he can't guarantee her safety, so he can't promise anything. The second reason joining them would draw attention to her and put her in more danger. Lastly, he says Manager Zhang of Settlement No. 119 is a decent person, and if she asks him, he'll likely help her get some food. She asks if everything he said was true and wonders if it's because he thinks she's too weak. He replies that her trait must be unique, so she's not weaker than his two teammates, and whether she believes it or not is up to her. One teammate gets offended, while the other admits they're both weak compared to him. She thanks him for explaining, calls him a good guy, and leaves, hoping they'll meet again someday. He comments that the other must have deep feelings for the rich girl since she's amazing, yet he still turned her down. He tells Yezi that he's not weak, but Yezi confidently says he already knows that. The silver-haired boy observes that their relationship is unusually close, like Boss Zhang and Boss Bai. He thinks that someone with truly loyal followers might really be just like the boss said. He wonders if the man is really the pretty boy of a big shot. One of them quietly admits there's something he's curious about, and Chengzi guesses he wants to know why they let the driver join. Chengzi explains it's because the driver was placed there by Zhang Mimi, surprising the other. He adds that while they don't know Zhang Mimi's real intention, trusting someone to drive a truck carrying precious supplies means they must be a top confidant, which shows they're taken seriously. He wonders why the man would do such a thing. While walking, he trips and complains about what could possibly trip someone like him. They discover the bloody corpse of a woman, shocking them. One of them recognizes her as someone from their settlement, a strong level 9 fighter who had entered with a team and can't believe she's dead here. One of them wonders if the monsters inside are far stronger than those outside. Chengzi examines the corpse, noting that while there are monster-inflicted wounds, the fatal injuries came from sharp human weapons. Yezi calls Chengzi over urgently after spotting something. They find a pile of dead bodies, as if someone had deliberately hidden them there. One of them is shocked to realize the entire team that came together died here, even though they had a level 10 awakened being. Chengzi deduces they were ambushed while injured, as wounds from human weapons are still visible. He expected something like this, but not so soon, suggesting there's another possibility. He reveals that the killers were their enemies from Settlement No. 119 and remarks that the settlement isn't as united as it appears to outsiders. The man from Settlement No. 119 is left stunned and speechless. A sudden movement above catches their attention, and one of them warns Chengzi that something is up there. A massive drill rat, a level 10 elite monster, emerges, making them wonder if it's the same creature that attacked the others. The monster charges downward, spinning its deadly drill-like horn. Chengzi shouts for them to move, and they quickly dodge the incoming attack. The drill rat's immense power is revealed, nearly matching the strength of the boar they faced earlier, despite being just an elite monster from this dimensional instance. Meanwhile, someone stealthily places their hand against a wall, remaining hidden. Two men appear, recognizing Manager Zhang's trusted confidant, Zhang Dahua. They decide to use the same tactic as before, wait for both sides to exhaust each other, then move in to finish them off. The massive drill rat unleashes its power, and one of the boys nervously jokes that aside from its head, nothing about it even resembles a rat. Zai analyzes the situation, realizing the killer is likely waiting for both sides to weaken each other before striking. He suspects the killer is cunning, skilled in schemes, and might be secretly watching their every move from somewhere in the tunnel. To avoid being ambushed during the upcoming boss fight, Zai decides they must eliminate the drill rat here and now. Zai's sharp eyes lock onto the drill rat, quickly spotting its weak point. He decides to use the monster as bait, planning to stage an act that will lure their hidden enemies into revealing themselves. He recalls a method his sister once taught him for hunting mutated vultures pretend to be injured, draw the enemy out, and then strike decisively. Meanwhile, Chengzi activates his trait, gaining precision and weakness detection, and shouts for Zai to follow his aim. Zai aims at the drill rat's chest, striking hard but holding back his full power to avoid killing it instantly. He reminds himself that if he appears too strong, their hidden enemies will never reveal themselves. While attacking, he deliberately exposes openings, making it seem like he has weaknesses. The drill rat roars in pain, countering fiercely and knocking Zai down as Chengzi shouts his name in alarm. Chengzi furiously yells at the drill rat for attacking his brother, declaring it dead. He launches stones with his sling, managing to land several hits that chip away small portions of its health. The drill rat roars in rage, turning its full attention toward Chengzi. It charges at him with terrifying speed, forcing Chengzi to brace himself as the monster closes in. Yizai shouts for his comrade to run, but the silver-haired man realizes Yizai actually believes he's gravely injured. If he reveals the truth, their entire plan will collapse. Despite the danger, Yizai braces himself as the drill rat charges down at terrifying speed, determined to face it head-on. Yizai loads his slingshot, calling the beast fast but refusing to back down, insulting it as a pig-headed rat. Suddenly, his brother leaps in, warning him to watch out as the monster's deadly strike descends. One of them warns in disbelief that they're up against a level 10 monster, but Yizai refuses to back down, shouting that since it hurt his brother, he won't let it live. Yizai stands up, filled with rage, vowing to make the rat pay. His brother looks at him, realizing the depth of his determination and loyalty. Even the silver-haired man is surprised, seeing how their bond runs deeper than he imagined, a friendship forged through life and death. As their attacks continue to chip away at the monster roars and charges back at them with deadly speed, its horn glowing fiercely. One of them panics, realizing it's coming straight for them. At the last moment, the purple-haired man dashes in, grabbing his comrade out of harm's way. He sighs, saying he'll owe him for this one. The others are shocked at his speed, questioning when he got this strong. He admits with a serious face he had lied to them all along. The purple-haired man reveals the truth: he's actually level 10. His awakened trait is extreme speed, which boosts his agility greatly. But he says now isn't the time for details. If they survive, he'll explain everything. His comrade quickly comes up with a plan, asking him to be the driver while he attacks and wears down the monster. The purple-haired man agrees without hesitation, promising to handle it. Together, they charge again, with the slingshot wielder shouting at the beast, determined to test if his attacks can truly bring the monster down. The monster roars as more attacks land, its health dropping little by little. But the purple-haired man worries Chengzi took a direct hit. If he bleeds too much, he'll die without immediate treatment. There's no time to waste. Determined, he thinks he must kill the pig-headed rat right now to end this fight. As he reaches for more ammo, his expression shifts. He realizes with frustration he's completely out of stones. A new fighter suddenly appears, mocking the monster for failing to finish them after chasing all day. He hurls a heavy stone down at it. The stone strikes, surprising everyone. The purple-haired man wonders in shock where it even came from. But the monster quickly retaliates, charging straight at Chengzi and his brother, forcing them to the ground. With panic in his voice, Chengzi yells for his brother to run, but the purple-haired man sees the attack closing in and cries out, "It's over." A blinding strike tears through the battlefield, shaking the cavern as the attack lands with explosive force. The drill rat, level 10, is pierced straight through and slain instantly by the decisive blow. But the victory comes at a cost. Chengzi is struck in the back, blood spraying from the wound. Chengzi breathes heavily, his body battered but his mind sharp. He thinks about how appearing weak will only tempt the hidden killer to strike, making his act even more convincing. His allies rush to him in concern, asking if he's alright. Despite his grave injuries, they're stunned he still managed to slay a level 10 monster. They admire his talent, certain he's destined for greatness. Chengzi steadies himself, assuring them he won't die yet. He feels his strength recovering as leveling up begins restoring him, just like when he once killed the red demon boar. The system activates his radiant trait, far ahead, boosting his gained experience. With the elite drill rat's defeat, the effect is enough to push his level higher, advancing him toward even greater power. The Eternal Evolution Tome appears once again, offering Chengzi 3 golden traits to choose from: Brave, Free Temper, and Self-Development 3. He realizes this time he can only choose Self-Development 3, the final stage of the series. Though its effect is unknown, the system notes it will unlock the mysterious series trait fusion. Chengzi reflects that he doesn't fully understand what this fusion means, but he's certain it's something extraordinary, far beyond normal growth. Normally, people can only gain a new trait every 10 levels, requiring at least level 30 to gather 3 in a series. Yet now, with all self-development traits obtained, the system prompts him, will he trigger series trait fusion? Chengzi chooses to trigger the series trait fusion, despite being only level 8. He prepares to unlock a power usually reserved for those at least level 30. Bright streams of energy swirl around him as the fusion begins. Determined, he declares that he will see what comes from this extraordinary transformation. Meanwhile, his allies observe that Chengzi's injuries are healing thanks to leveling up, and he now appears mostly fine, but suspicions still linger. One of them notes that although Chengzi hides his true level, he has shown no hostility and even helped them. Yet, a question remains: what is his real purpose for following them? One of the men recalls how his wife gave him some jerky before he left, and he offers it to help Big Bro regain some strength. Another presses him, demanding to know why he hid his level and chose to tag along with them, doubting it could be out of chivalry or selfless goodwill. Caught off guard, the man hesitates and struggles to answer, saying only, I. Meanwhile, enemies watch from the shadows. Seeing the group's weakened state, they decide this is the perfect time to strike, following their boss's orders to kill and claim the settlement. A sudden strike crashes into the rocks, startling everyone as a hostile presence reveals itself. Recognizing them, the group shouts in alarm, it's the notorious Lei brothers. One of the brothers mocks Zhang Dahua, noting how much faster he is compared to the others they faced earlier, warning that without his speed he'd already be dead. The system reveals their identities: Lei Changshu and Lei Jiankang, both level 10 awakened beings, trusted subordinates of Haley, deputy manager of the 119th settlement, and feared as the ruthless Lei brothers. Anger flares as it's revealed that the Lei brothers have been ambushing and slaughtering people from their own settlement. One man swears that Manager Zhang will never forgive them for such betrayal. Another questions what's happening, asking if the two attackers are really from their settlement. It becomes clear they aren't Manager Zhang's men, but belong to Haley instead. Confused, one of them blurts out, demanding to know who exactly is Haley. It's revealed that Haley is actually the deputy manager of their settlement. Once a comrade of Manager Zhang, he is now considered a sworn enemy. Their ideologies are completely opposite. Zhang values stability, while Haley craves expansion and conflict, making him an aggressive warmonger. Zi reflects, realizing Haley might be Zhang Min's greatest rival within settlement No. 119. It's even suspected Haley has been secretly working with external forces, oppressing others for gain. Zi clenches his resolve, vowing that this debt will be repaid in full. The enemies scoff at the group, saying their boss doesn't need advice from a dead man. They rush forward, eager to kill, believing the boss will reward them even more. One of the allies urges the others to focus, saying explanations can wait. Surviving these maniacs comes first. Suddenly, a trait is activated. A spider web spreads across the tunnel. Spider Silk, bronze trait. It consumes stamina to shoot adhesive silk, and the higher the level, the stronger it becomes. The web seals the entrance, slowing their movements. Realizing his speed advantage is gone, he worries he won't be able to match the two brothers in direct combat. Zhang Dahua looks shocked as one of the Lei brothers taunts him, saying in his next life he should follow a better boss. The Lei brothers strike fiercely, shouting to cut off Zhang Dahua's head and claim the reward from their boss. In a sudden twist, one brother grabs the other and throws him forward, yelling, "Sorry, bro." The betrayed brother crashes heavily into the rocks, leaving everyone stunned by the unexpected act. Zhang Dahua grips his blade tightly, telling his allies that they are meant for greater things and must find a way to escape while he holds the enemies off. He charges forward fearlessly, asking that his wife and daughter be told he was not a coward if he doesn't survive. One of the enemies sneers, promising he'll deliver that message himself after killing Dahua. One of the enemies is enraged by the sudden sneak attack and counters aggressively, demanding to know who dares challenge him. The force behind the strike shocks him, far surpassing the limits of what should be possible in this dimensional instance. He snarls at the silver-haired boy, mocking his severe injuries and questioning why he still dares to interfere in the affairs of Settlement No. 119. The boy, bleeding and exhausted, steadies himself with a knife in hand. Despite his battered state, he refuses to back down, leaving his foe to wonder if he's merely running on fumes. The enemies plot to stall the fight, confident that once the silver-haired boy's wounds worsen, they'll easily behead him. The boy refuses to back down, declaring that Driver Bro is his friend and he won't watch him die, proving this battle is no trivial matter. Hearing this, Driver Bro is deeply moved, realizing that despite being gravely wounded, the boy still sees him as someone worth protecting. Their foe mocks the boy's injuries, warning him not to meddle in Settlement No. 119's affairs, but the boy stands firm, his determination unshaken. The silver-haired boy calls out to Yizai, and with determination, Yizai responds and stands by his side, ready for battle. The enemies sneer, saying they're in a bad mood and have no intention of letting them leave alive, declaring that both must be killed first. The leader warns them that while Heaven's road is wide, they've chosen the path to hell, believing the boy's severe injuries will ensure their victory. Surrounded by glowing energy attacks, the boy and Yizai prepare themselves, standing firm against the overwhelming power closing in. Before the fight begins, the silver-haired boy asks a serious question: if they know a man named Fandahu. The enemies recall Fandahu, mocking him as a fool from Settlement 226, and admit their boss Haley sent them to strike a deal with him. The boy's ally looks confused, questioning what deal they're talking about. They reveal the truth: the deal was a scam. Fandahu was tricked into handing over precious cassava crops for resource coupons, only to be betrayed and left with nothing. While they laughed at his foolishness, the truth comes out: the suffering and deaths in their settlement were partly caused by this enemy group's schemes. Mocking them, the enemy says that if they had revealed their identity earlier, none of this trouble would have happened, and offers a deal to betray their own leader in exchange for survival. He commands them to kill their companion and bring his head, promising to let them join Settlement No. 119 under boss Haley's rule. Enraged, the boy recalls his grandma's death and realizes these men were responsible too. Fueled by rage, he vows to kill them on the spot. The enemy mocks their attacks, thinking the only real threat is the gravely injured fighter. He plans to stall until the wounds worsen, then finish him off. But the white-haired fighter calmly tells Yizai to target their weak points, activating his golden trait Butcher's precision. Yizai's vision reveals the enemy's vulnerabilities: neck, heart, and head all exposed. Fueled by rage, Yizai prepares to strike, determined not to hold back as he aims directly for their vital spots. The white-haired fighter charges fiercely, declaring he'll strike all 3 weak points at once. One of the enemies panics and shouts to his brother, urging him to kill the younger one first since he's weaker. But his brother snaps, telling him to shut up, and angrily turns on him instead. In a sudden twist, he attacks his own brother, yelling for Zhang Dahua to go to hell as his blade strikes. The silver-haired boy swiftly strikes down one enemy, declaring one is finished. His companion screams in shock, calling out for his fallen brother. The silver-haired boy glares coldly and warns that it's now his turn. But before he can move, glowing spider silk suddenly binds him tightly, restraining his body. The glowing spider silk wraps tightly around the silver-haired boy, trying to restrain him. He activates his flame enchantment trait, his body igniting with blazing fire. With a powerful fiery slash, he burns through the bindings and incinerates his enemies, making them scream in agony. Standing tall over their fallen bodies, he coldly remarks that they were much weaker than he had expected. The silver-haired boy reflects that his enemies underestimated him, thinking he was too gravely injured to fight back. He then explains that he activated the powerful fusion trait, which caused his stats to skyrocket. A glowing screen appears, showing the successful activation of the fusion trait, enhancing his abilities beyond normal limits. While resting, one of them wonders if someone as capable as Big Bro should still be so frugal, but another explains it's just his habit, only a fool would leave useful items behind. The silver-haired boy checks their supplies, some jerky and 200 to 300 resource coupons. He decides to keep Ye's share with his own and offers to share the rest, even wrapping them in clothes as a bundle. The purple-haired man quickly refuses, insisting the supplies belong rightfully to Big Bro. He adds that taking the Lay brothers' clothes would cause trouble with Haley's people, and unlike the others, he can't just walk away since his wife and daughter are still here. After some thought, the silver-haired boy picks up the supplies, deciding not to split them. While scavenging the monster, the silver-haired boy notices hidden information inside its drill and tells the others to touch it as well to see if any prompts appear. One of them wonders if the drill monster had hoarded a precious opportunity, noting he has never encountered or even heard of such a thing before. A prompt reveals the item as a special acquisition, the Drill Rat's drill, which serves as the key to the Burrow Rat clan's treasure vault. Shocked and excited, the others realize this is a rare chance. The treasure vault is usually guarded by the final boss, but they now have the key in advance. The silver-haired boy hopes the treasure vault contains a weapon suitable for Yezi, reminding them that the monsters ahead will only get stronger, so they must prepare in advance. Yezi realizes the boy isn't just focused on his own growth, but is also looking out for him. He thinks about how much he needs a proper weapon since relying on his slingshot no longer suits him. The boy also warns that Haley likely sent more people than just the 2 fat men they fought, suggesting they should remain cautious. He asks if the purple-haired man wants to leave first and report the situation to Manager Jung. The man refuses, explaining that he can't leave. Even though the silver-haired boy is strong, Yezi is still weak, and if he left, Yezi would only become a burden. The brown-haired boy gets angry, asking if he's being mocked, while the purple-haired man laughs nervously. The boy declares that if he gets serious, he'll impress them sooner or later. He shouts confidently, quoting an old saying that a man who has been away for 3 years will return as a king. The others play along, agreeing with him. Pointing to the sky, he vows to repay today's humiliation 100-fold, reciting another phrase about the river flowing east and west, warning not to underestimate the young and poor. When asked where he keeps getting these lofty sayings, he proudly claims they come from ancient books. The silver-haired boy realizes he really has read quite a lot, while the purple-haired man laughs behind them. The group stumbles upon a gruesome sight filled with corpses. The brown-haired boy is shocked, pointing out what he sees. They notice the bodies belong to outsiders who joined the trial, not people from their own settlement. The purple-haired man observes that all the supplies have been scavenged, meaning this was pure slaughter, not a normal fight. He concludes that the Lay brothers were just the beginning. Now the real massacre has started. Killers are fighting to seize supplies and reduce competitors before facing the final boss. The silver-haired boy sharpens his senses, noting that he hears the sounds of battle nearby. His hearing has improved greatly thanks to his over-limit technology. He suggests they check it out and maybe swoop in to reap the benefits while others are fighting. They spot a confrontation ahead, where a group is warning someone not to come closer. The boy recognizes the figure. It's her, the mysterious girl, unleashing dark energy with a powerful presence. A purple-haired woman mocks the silver-haired girl, calling her useless and telling her to hurry up and die so they can move on to fight the boss. The silver-haired boy recognizes her, surprised that fate keeps bringing them together. He notes that she managed to make it this deep alone when he thought she had been left behind. The girl is attacked by 2 enemies charging at her, hurling insults and preparing to strike her down. Struggling, she admits her stamina has hit its limit and she can't use her trait properly anymore. With desperation, she thinks of her people, regretting that she won't be able to bring the food back to them. As the girl braces herself for death, she regrets not having another chance. A vision of the white-haired boy flashes in her mind, making her wonder if she should have followed him despite the risks. Her attackers raise their weapons high, preparing to strike her down while she stands defenseless. Just as the blades fall, a golden slash cuts through the air. The white-haired boy appears, striking down her enemies in an instant. He turns to her with a confident smile, telling her to open her eyes because she isn't dead. The injured girl looks up in shock, recognizing the white-haired boy and exclaiming that he has come as well. He tells her to step aside for now, promising to help her this time. Relieved, she quickly agrees. The boy notices that even after he killed 2 of her men instantly, the purple-haired woman didn't show any fear or panic, making him realize she intends to fight him directly. Facing him confidently, the purple-haired woman calls him skilled, while he prepares himself, knowing she's challenging him personally. The purple-haired woman seductively whispers, preparing to use her ability. Activating her trait, she forms a glowing heart and tempts him, asking him to come and enjoy pleasure with her. The boy is suddenly enveloped by her power, while his allies shout in alarm, warning him that her trait controls the mind. His companions watch in shock as the energy closes in around him. fearing he might fall under her control. Her trait successfully takes control of the target, and she smirks in satisfaction. A girl watches in shock. Realizing her allies have been struck, she quickly understands the reason this woman possesses a mind control trait. No wonder she showed no grief when her companions were killed, since they were nothing more than puppets under her control. A man glares sharply, thinking that killing her should erase such a dangerous trait. The woman smirks, amused by his hostility. She reminds him that she already has 2 others under her control and teases him, asking if he even wants to know who she truly is. With a fierce strike, another fighter crashes down, confirming with certainty that her guess was indeed correct. The woman frantically unleashes her power, shouting for her controlled puppets to wake up and stop the attacker. She thinks to herself that this man is insane, caring for nothing but killing, yet she still holds his friend captive. One of her controlled men struggles forward, groaning in pain as he tries to intercept. The fiery warrior bursts through their defenses, declaring that their speed is no match for him. His flames tear through everything in his path. Falling to the ground, the woman pleads desperately. She insists she means no harm, trying to bargain for her life, warning that if he kills her now, he will surely regret it. The man grips her tightly and demands her to speak. Terrified but trying to charm him, she explains that her trait is unique and that she comes from Settlement No. 119. She emphasizes her physical attractiveness, hoping someone as strong as him would find her appealing. Smiling seductively, she warns that if he kills her, her boss will surely come after him. Instead, she suggests he let her accompany him. Internally, she schemes knowing he is cold-blooded and ruthless. She plans to use her charm temporarily until Brother Jun's people can handle him. Unimpressed, the man looks at her calmly and asks if that's really all she has to say. She tries to persuade him further, explaining that deeper inside, everyone is under her boss's command. Having her around would only bring him benefits, no harm. She warns that independent awakened beings like him would face nothing but death inside, since her boss has already ordered that the quota must stay within Settlement No. 119. She sweetens her offer, saying if he accepts her as his spouse, he too would be counted among their settlement. Watching closely, the green-haired girl reflects that in this harsh world, many women resort to such means to survive. But women like her are fickle. Once they meet someone stronger, they abandon their current partner. She can only hope he won't be deceived. The man narrows his eyes and finally asks a direct question. Is her boss Haley? The woman boasts that her boss has far more experience than Haley. Even respected figures like manager Jong address him as Brother Jun. The man listens quietly and responds with a calm, "Okay, got it." Confidently, she praises his intelligence, saying she didn't misjudge him. She suggests that if they work together as a couple, securing the company's quota would be effortless. Before she can finish her scheming, his blade cuts clean through her, leaving her body lifeless as blood splatters across the ground. The green-haired girl gasps in shock as she sees the woman's lifeless body. Confused, she asks why he killed her when her conditions seemed quite favorable. The man answers firmly. First, the woman had tried to kill her, and he had promised to protect her with everything he had. Second, she also tried to kill him and had controlled his friend. There was no way she could be trusted. Third, he has no intention of serving Brother Jun or joining Settlement No. 119. The green-haired girl reflects silently, finding his mindset rational and reliable, yet also a little frightening. The mind control fades, and the 2 men regain their senses. Confused and disoriented, they wonder what just happened, realizing they had almost attacked their own ally. The man explains coldly that the woman's trait could control others at will. If she managed it once, she could easily do it again. To prevent that danger, he chose to kill her. One of the freedmen trembles, revealing that she was actually the mistress of Deputy Manager Huang Jun. By killing her, he has now offended 2 of the 3 most powerful figures in their settlement. As they walk away, the man states calmly that once he secures a position in the company, he will leave this place. The others bring up the 3 major figures controlling their settlement: Zhang Mayan, Haley, and now Huang Jun. It's revealed that these 3 effectively hold power, though their philosophies differ and they all distrust one another. The group realizes the ambush was orchestrated by Huang Jun and Haley for their own gain. One of them notes that Zhang Mayan already knows about Chengzi's extraordinary identity and avoids rash action, though the others remain unaware. Another companion advises him to keep pretending his identity is extraordinary for now, reminding him that in this world, one must create their own identity to survive. One of the men warns that moving forward forward could mean facing an ambush from a large group of Awakened. He nervously asks if they should continue deeper. The man thinks of his sister still waiting for him and declares with determination that he must join the company. Hearing his resolve, another companion quickly adds that if Chengzi goes, he will go too. The green-haired girl looks at him with hopeful eyes, asking if he really can't take her along as well. The man warns the green-haired girl to keep her distance and use her trait to protect them, instead of staying too close. She happily agrees, promising to do her best not to cause any trouble for him. One of the companions teases with a grin, asking if he's suddenly feeling protective and joking that his heart only belonged to a rich lady. The man ignores the teasing, saying things will get more dangerous ahead with her around. At least there's some safety. The younger one puffs up proudly, insisting he doesn't need a woman's protection. The green-haired girl admits that now, since he agreed to let her join, she no longer needs to hide anything. She reveals that there are still some people nearby. Her golden trait activates, lifting scent concealment and exposing what had been hidden. The group is shocked to see a large number of people hiding inside the cave. An injured man explains that they were all beaten back. The company's quota is too precious, and risking life and death for it is justified. Still, he curses their enemies for being ruthless, laying traps and joining forces to attack without mercy. The white-haired man responds firmly, saying that in a life or death struggle, using every possible means is only natural. The injured man recalls bitterly how the enemy lowered their guard by disguising themselves as assistants from Settlement No. 119. Because of this trick, he was caught off guard and lost one of his hands. With clenched teeth, he declares that without that dirty move, he would never have been defeated by such lowlifes. The injured man coughs up blood, and his companions rush to calm him down. The green-haired girl explains that earlier, the woman and her subordinates had come searching for their hideout, planning to wipe them out completely. She couldn't bear it, so she stepped in to help. Though these people no longer have the ability to compete for the company's quota, they still refuse to let go. Another man angrily adds that both Haley's and Huang Jun's followers are the same, ruthless and driven solely by profit. If Settlement No. 119 had a manager like Zhang Mimi, things would be even more chaotic. The white-haired man asks what they should do now: ignore the situation or intervene. One companion replies that if they intervene, the only way is to escort the injured out. But survival depends on moving quickly, since they also need to face the boss without wasting time. The green-haired girl thinks to herself that he's a terrifyingly rational man. She wonders if he would truly make such a cruel choice. The injured red-haired man fears the worst. He knows that as their leader, if he abandons them now, their deaths are certain. Yet logically, leaving them behind would be the smartest decision. He regrets that if he hadn't been dragged into this mess, joining the company could have been simple. The man looks to his companion and orders, "Driver bro, that girl." Immediately, they respond, calling out that they're ready. With a firm expression, he declares that going further inside will be extremely dangerous, and there's no reason for them to risk it. Instead, he entrusts these people to his ally, ordering him to escort them out safely for treatment. The green-haired girl beams with relief, happy that he actually chose to save them. She realizes he's not the kind of person to abandon others. The others also cheer, grateful for his decision. As the injured are escorted out, someone remarks to Manager Zhang that this young man resembles him in many ways. They believe that if he becomes a settlement manager in the future, he will treat ordinary people with fairness and respect. The badly wounded red-haired man calls out, telling them to check his pocket. He explains he picked up something while killing a steel-clawed rat, but it's of no use to him now. Reaching into his pocket, they find an item, and he assures them he will always remember the favor they've done for him today. The white-haired man silently studies the paper given to him, his eyes narrowing as he realizes its importance. Since he cannot read, he asks his companion to explain what the drawing means. Excited, his friend reveals that it shows the hidden location of a treasure chest within this dimensional instance. He explains that defeating the boss alone won't grant them access. This treasure chest must be claimed separately. Their luck is incredible. With the drill key they obtained earlier, and now the map, everything is falling into place. The man quickly lays out the plan. His companions will go retrieve the treasure chest, while he alone will handle the boss. His companion is shocked, calling Chengzi crazy. He warns that the boss area is extremely dangerous, full of monsters and vicious awakened beings. Going there alone is practically suicide. Chengzi explains his reasoning. If they secure the treasure chest, his companion's strength may be enhanced, increasing their chances of survival. He assures them he'll act with caution, avoiding reckless risks and steering clear of monsters along the way. The friend reflects that Changzi is right. At his current level, without the driver bro's support, he can't stand against awakened beings above level 10. The only way he can contribute is by getting the treasure chest. Determined, he sets off toward the cave, vowing to return as a king once he claims the treasure. The man steps into a silent cave. He realizes the earlier group must have cleared out all monsters and survivors before entering the boss's lair. Thinking to himself, he notes that this also means Yezi's side should be relatively safer for now. Suddenly, a sharp cry echoes through the cavern. He braces himself, recognizing that he's finally reached the boss area. From the darkness, a massive beast emerges, a dual-blade frenzy rat, its HP bar flashing dangerously low, but still pulsing with deadly intent. A group of Awakened charge forward. Realizing the boss has very little HP left, they shout to finish it in one strike, eager to claim victory. Watching closely, the man thinks to himself that the boss is on the verge of death, but he can't allow it to fall just yet. If it dies now, he would be forced to face all the awakened enemies at once. He decides to let the boss stall some of them while he quietly takes advantage of the chaos, striking down a few in the confusion. Gripping his weapon, he steels himself. Since these people kill for personal gain, then his blade is nothing more than heaven's justice. With cold resolve, he whispers to himself he'll start with the weakest. Some of the awakened greedily think that by killing the boss monster, they'll finally earn the company's recognition. After slaughtering so many people outside, they believe their efforts are finally paying off. Arrogantly, they boast about their future. One says that with the company's identity backing them, their status in the settlement will rise again. Another laughs cruelly, claiming that once he gets out, he'll indulge in women to wash away his bad luck. Before they can celebrate further, their faces twist in horror as blades cut through them in an instant. Blood splatters as their heads roll across the ground. From the shadows, the white-haired man's cold eyes gleam. He tells them flatly that, unfortunately, they won't be leaving this place alive. Enemies sneer, surprised that even an independent Awakened has made it this far. They order their allies to leave the boss's final HP to them while the others handle the intruder. One fighter activates his trait, the brave golden word gate, boosting his strength by 30% for 15 minutes. He charges forward with confidence. Two others unleash their bronze traits. One increases his shooting attack damage by 30%, while the other boosts his speed by 50%. Together, they fire arrows with deadly precision. But the white-haired man surges upward with overwhelming force. His aura explodes as he dismisses them with a single phrase, "Too weak, ready to crush them all." The white-haired man's eyes burn with determination as he declares that it's now the turn of his next two opponents. The enemies recognize his strength and shout to not hold back, knowing he's far stronger than a typical independent Awakened. One of them activates his explosive shot gold trait, boosting his attacks with an extra 50% damage and explosion effects. Another unleashes his ice shot gold trait, adding 50% more power, plus freezing and slowing effects to his arrows. Together, they unleash a deadly barrage of fiery and icy arrows at him, but he remains calm, thinking to himself that long-range Awakened are weak in close combat. As long as he closes the distance, their deaths are certain. The white-haired man darts through a barrage of fiery and icy arrows, cutting straight through the chaos without slowing down. Two Awakened warriors, Zhang and his ally, watch in shock. They realize this man is nothing like the usual independent Awakened. They can feel the difference in his power. Zhang argues that killing the boss is the top priority. Even if everyone else dies, as long as he and his comrade survive, they can still join the company. They lunge forward at the massive beast, striking with full force. One yells that they must kill the boss first, then they can worry about dealing with others. A massive explosion engulfs the battlefield, flames and shards bursting in every direction as the white-haired man takes the blast head-on. The two brothers watch in shock, realizing he didn't even try to dodge. One calls him insane, unable to believe someone would face such an attack directly. The other exhales in relief, saying that if he had dodged, they would have been the ones to die instead. He convinces himself that the man must be weak to endure such damage. But before they can relax, a blur of speed cuts across the air. The white-haired man reappears in an instant, his strike aimed directly at one of them. The surviving brother screams in horror, calling out for his little brother. With incredible speed, the white-haired man tears through his opponent, acknowledging that the boost from over-limit technology exceeded even his expectations. The surviving brother roars in rage, cursing him and vowing to die together with his fallen sibling. He launches his desperate attack, but the white-haired man meets it head-on with merciless precision, his blade cutting through without hesitation. Coldly, he tells his foe that when they butchered others, they should have known this day would eventually come. His strike ends the battle, leaving no chance for redemption. The white-haired man reflects on his over-limit technology, a radiant trait focused purely on boosting body stats. Even in his normal state, without activating any traits, it lets him withstand countless attacks head-on. He wonders just how far he could go if he truly broke past his limit. The Eternal Evolution Tome and over-limit technology are both radiant traits, far superior to ordinary ones, but this only means that other radiant traits in the world might be even stronger. He admits that even now, he wouldn't be a match for that terrifying figure from his past. The true powerhouses of this world have yet to appear before him, so he cannot afford to relax for even a moment. With firm resolve, he looks ahead. To find his sister, he still has a long road to travel. But for now, his immediate goal is kill the boss and seize the chance to join the company. The two awakened rush forward with excitement, shouting to kill the monster. One of them calls for the final strike. Certain victory is within their grasp. Their blades cut deep as the boss's HP drops dangerously low. But suddenly, the beast clutches its head, letting out strange cries that confuse them. Blood streams from its eyes as it howls in pain. The warriors hesitate, wondering what's happening, mocking it by asking if it's actually begging for mercy. Before they can react, a violent surge erupts from the boss, blasting upward with terrifying power. The cavern shakes as a deadly transformation begins. A terrifying transformation takes place as the monster evolves into its true form, the giant axe rat, a boss-level beast radiating killing intent. The warriors freeze in shock, realizing the truth. This dimensional instance doesn't just have one boss, it has two, and the second one is even more dangerous. Standing at level 13, a red glow fills the rat's eyes as it locks onto its prey, its murderous aura pressing down on everyone. With a violent crash, the beast swings its massive weapon down, forcing the warriors to scramble. Someone shouts desperately to dodge, but its speed and power are overwhelming. The warriors are stunned that their enemy managed to dodge the attack, showing terrifying agility. The white-haired fighter analyzes the situation. With two bosses present, even without his intervention, many would still die. To ensure safety, he decides he must eliminate at least one of the bosses first. Shock spreads as the blue-furred monster suddenly speaks in human language, proving it's far more intelligent than expected. The men stare in disbelief, realizing this dimensional instance houses monsters capable of speech, a chilling revelation that changes the entire battle. One of the men suggests targeting the weaker boss first, hoping it will make things easier for them. They rush forward, praising Old Zhang's quick thinking as they prepare to strike. But the stronger boss steps in, blocking their path with a roar. It declares that if they want to harm the weaker one, they'll have to go through it first. The attackers freeze in frustration, cursing under their breath. They complain that they've already spent half the day fighting one boss, and now they're being forced into yet another desperate struggle. The group faces the towering beast, tension rising as its massive form blocks the path. From the shadows, he watches carefully, waiting for the right moment. With swift precision, he lunges forward, blade gleaming. His voice cuts through the chaos as he declares that the boss's head will belong to him. The man in the green scarf grows furious, realizing the white-haired fighter has exposed their crimes. His companion looks on nervously, while the ground shakes as the level 13 boss looms over them. The massive boss roars, locking its glowing eyes on the white-haired man. With its sharp fangs bared, it swings down a devastating attack, determined to crush him. Standing firm, the white-haired man braces himself. He wonders just how powerful a level 13 boss truly is, ready to test if his strength can withstand its might. The boss's strike slams into the ground with explosive force, sending rocks and debris flying everywhere as the cave trembles under the impact. The man enters the mountain rat cave and notices it's already cleared. Soon, he hears the boss's roar and finds the giant rat with only 15% HP left. He decides not to let the boss die yet, using the chaos to kill the greedy survivors one by one, calling it justice. The survivors fight back with traits and arrows, but he dodges easily and cuts them down, realizing his over-limit technology gives him overwhelming power. As they try to finish the rat, a second, stronger boss appears, the giant axe rat, level 13. The man steps forward, ready to take its head. He realizes the others must work with him to have any chance of survival, but also knows that once the boss is dead, they will likely turn on him immediately. The two men propose a temporary alliance, suggesting they set aside their grudges for now and kill the boss together before dealing with each other. He isn't surprised. Everything goes as expected. In the apocalypse, negotiations are possible even if he has killed many of their people. They agree to combine their strength to defeat the boss first, putting their temporary truce into action. The two men secretly plotted, planning to strike the boy once the boss's health dropped low. Soon after, they rushed forward, pretending to help him in the fight. Together they clashed with the giant axe rat, their attacks barely leaving marks but still shaving off the boss's health bar. The creature roared furiously, its eyes glowing red, as its HP rapidly decreased under the combined assault. Though working together, hidden schemes brewed in the background, waiting for the perfect moment to betray. The group realizes that teaming up is their only chance. Despite their past grudges, they suggest working together to defeat the boss first. The protagonist already predicted this and accepts, knowing they will betray him afterward. In secret, the schemers plan to strike him down once the boss's HP drops below 10%. For now, they join the fight, rushing forward and attacking with all their might. The massive rat boss unleashes terrifying strength, crushing the ground and wounding several fighters. Still, the protagonist holds firm, countering its power and driving its health lower. Amid the chaos, the protagonist summons his blazing weapon, prepared to end both the boss and anyone who dares to betray him. The silver-haired fighter realizes the others must cooperate with him to survive, but also knows they'll betray him after killing the boss. The two men approach, suggesting a temporary alliance. He agrees, masking his caution. They strike together, landing blows on the massive level 13 boss. As planned, the two secretly decide to finish him off when the boss's HP drops to 10%. The boss roars and activates a terrifying special buff, greatly boosting its stats and healing. Its form grows fiercer, shocking everyone. Realizing the danger, the silver-haired fighter warns that this is no ordinary buff, it's unique to the boss itself. He urges the others to retreat, as the battle has now turned into a deadly fight for survival. The white-haired protagonist realizes the others must cooperate with him to defeat the boss, but he knows once the boss falls, they'll betray him. The two men approach with fake smiles, suggesting an alliance to kill the boss first, promising to settle their differences later. As expected, the protagonist stays calm, thinking everything is within his plan. Even in this apocalypse, temporary alliances are common, even with enemies. They all join forces, launching a combined attack on the powerful boss, but the men secretly plot to strike when the protagonist is weakened. The group discovers a treasure chest hidden separately from the boss. Changzi tells Yezi to focus on the chest while he handles the boss alone. Despite Yezi's worries, Changzi insists and heads into the cave where the battle begins. Inside, Changzi finds the boss area cleared of monsters by another group. As the giant rat boss appears, he plans to use the chaos to his advantage, striking enemies while they're distracted by the beast. The enemies boast about joining the company after killing the boss. Changzi intervenes, swiftly cutting them down. But as the fight rages, the cave reveals a second, even stronger boss, its power and intelligence shocking everyone. With allies pretending to cooperate, betrayal brews in the background. As the boss weakens, they prepare to turn on Changzi. He sees through their plan and waits for the right moment to strike, flames igniting on his blade. The two men betray the white-haired boy, mocking him for being under level 10 and unworthy of their alliance. He calmly responds, turning their betrayal into an expected move and counters with a powerful strike. They argue that the level gap after 10 makes him no match for them, but the rat boss suddenly rises again. The boss laughs menacingly and lunges at the boy, forcing him to face both the traitors and the monster. The boy rejects the traitors' beliefs, declaring he is different from them. A young man follows a map deep into a cave, convinced that the treasure lies ahead. He grows nervous, praying he doesn't encounter any monsters, knowing he can't escape without backup. Suddenly, he smells blood, his face tensing in shock as he wonders what it could mean. Terrified, he mutters prayers for protection from all gods and ancestors, hoping luck will keep him safe. The boy follows the map into the cave, noting that the treasure should be just ahead. He prays he won't encounter monsters since he lacks protection. He suddenly senses the smell of blood and grows tense. With wide eyes, he realizes something unusual lies ahead. Entering deeper, he finds the ground littered with corpses of beasts and adventurers. At the center, a treasure chest glows ominously. He whispers that perhaps praying to the gods really worked. Believing the fallen explorers cleared the path for him, he bows respectfully toward their bodies, thanking them before stepping toward the treasure chest. He examined the large chest, puzzled about how to open it. Trying brute force, he pushed hard but doubted it would work. A system prompt appeared, turning his item into a key. Overjoyed, he quickly inserted the key into the lock. The boy eagerly opens the treasure chest, wondering what rewards await him. Inside, he discovers a powerful crossbow and arrows, an incredible find that feels like divine assistance. Excited, he quickly equips the weapon, thrilled that he no longer has to rely on a simple bow. With renewed confidence, he prepares himself, declaring his return with pride. Just as he celebrates, a terrifying beast suddenly leaps down from above, its eyes glowing red with bloodlust. The boy freezes in shock as danger descends on him. The monster's claws slash toward him with overwhelming force, leaving him wide-eyed and unprepared for the sudden attack. The boy gets excited about trying out his newly obtained crossbow and prepares to unleash its power. A targeting skill activates, amplifying his attack by 200%. He fires with precision, channeling massive power into the shot. The bolt strikes the charging rat monster directly in its weak point with devastating force. The rat monster staggers, blood bursting from its chest as it struggles to comprehend the sudden fatal wound. With a final scream, the beast collapses to the ground, dead, while the boy stands firmly, victorious. A boy follows a treasure map into a cave, praying he won't encounter monsters. Suddenly, he smells blood and grows uneasy. Inside, he discovers corpses of beasts and humans scattered around, with a glowing treasure chest waiting at the end. Relieved, he carefully approaches it. Using a key, he unlocks the chest and is overjoyed to find a powerful crossbow inside. Excited, he tests it immediately, just as a giant rat monster attacks. With one precise shot, he pierces the monster's chest, killing it instantly. The system rewards him with a level up, and he rushes forward, eager to aid Changzi in battle. The ground trembles violently as the boy rushes through the cave, realizing the boss's rampage has even shaken the earth. He worries if Changzi is in danger and decides to speed up without hesitation. With determination in his eyes, he pushes forward, refusing to slow down. From afar, he yells into the depths of the tunnel, assuring Changzi not to fear because he has come to save him. A second boss appears, both at level 13, forcing the group into a desperate fight. The white-haired man decides to eliminate one boss first, shocked that the monsters can speak. The battle grows fierce, shaking the cavern as he aims to take the boss's head. Another adventurer finds a chest, gains a powerful crossbow, kills a rat in one shot, and rushes to join the fight. A monstrous figure rises, its body radiating with a dark and terrifying aura. Lightning crackles as the silver-haired boy stands ready, his energy clashing against the beast's overwhelming presence. The monster roars, unleashing its fury, while the boy faces it head-on, unshaken. The tension fills the cave as their powers collide, shaking everything around them. From behind, his companion screams in panic, warning him to be careful as the monstrous claw descends. But the silver-haired boy remains calm, his glowing eyes fixed forward, showing no fear in the face of danger. The boss lets out a furious roar as it charges, but the white-haired fighter counters with a powerful strike filled with lightning energy. The boss is slain instantly, and a system notification declares victory over the level 13 boss. The protagonist levels up rapidly. A glowing book appears, revealing a new permanent evolution skill. The system allows him to choose a fresh word fusion ability. Multiple options appear: Ice Shot, Explosive Shot, and Wind Control, each glowing with immense power, waiting for selection. After leveling up, he gains a new word fusion skill: Wind Control. Energy swirls around him as he tests its power. Suddenly, his stamina and mana drop sharply. The system warns that his body can't sustain the ability for long. His friend rushes over, calling his name, worried about his condition. Exhausted, he explains it's just fatigue and that he needs a short rest to recover. He looks at his exhausted friend and thinks that even heroes have moments of weakness. This time, it's his turn to protect him. Placing a firm hand on his shoulder, he tells him to rest peacefully, assuring him that he'll handle things. Suddenly, the cave begins to shake violently. The dungeon is collapsing now that the boss is dead. He quickly lifts his friend onto his back, recalling that the last dungeon also took time to crumble after the boss was slain. As Cheng rests, his companion worries about the danger outside and decides to move cautiously to avoid more enemies. He carries Cheng toward the exit, knowing the dungeon could collapse any moment and every second counts. Suddenly, a steel claw rat leaps out of the shadows, baring its fangs and attacking without warning. Shocked, he exclaims that even after the boss's death, new monsters are still spawning inside the dungeon. He steadies his aim while holding Cheng close, saying he's not the same weakling as before and will protect him no matter what. Several steel claw rats appear one after another, their glowing red eyes locked on him. Realizing it's not just one but 4 monsters, he braces himself for the fight. Gritting his teeth, he lowers Cheng to safety and prepares to take them all on alone. 4 steel claw rats close in, their claws scraping against the stone walls as they surround him from all sides. He clenches his teeth and declares that this time, it's his turn to protect Cheng. Outside the collapsing dungeon, a group of men receives news that someone has cleared the level and prepares to intercept whoever comes out. Their leader smirks over his cup of tea and orders them to proceed with the plan. A red-haired man laughs loudly, ordering his men to crush anyone who comes out of the dungeon if they're not from their group. Meanwhile, at a recovery facility, injured players are being treated as doctors rush to stabilize them. Outside, a blue-haired man confronts another, scolding him for spreading rumors and boasting about saving them too many times already. The purple-haired man chuckles nervously, saying the returning duo couldn't possibly be high-ranking elites, they just don't look the part. The blue-haired man explains that despite the danger, the two still entered the dungeon to save others, a sign of true bravery. Just then, a red-haired subordinate rushes in to report that Huang Ying and Hai Lai have taken their men to guard the exit. He adds that they've ordered to kill anyone who isn't one of their own. The blue-haired man smirks, calling them fools, saying if they act recklessly, the higher-ups will definitely take notice. The red-haired man questions whether they should just ignore the chaos at the exit, suggesting their rivals might already be plotting against the company. His companion wonders aloud if Xiao Cheng's team might also be involved in the situation. The realization shocks them, things might be far worse than they thought. The blue-haired man crushes his cigarette and orders his men to head for the exit, saying if the ones emerging are really Xiao Cheng's enemies, he'll personally deal with them. The purple-haired man thanks his superior for trusting him, boasting that once he gives his word, he never backs down. The red-haired man smirks and asks if his loyalty toward the young man they mentioned is genuine. The blue-haired man admits he isn't sure yet, but if that kid manages to survive, he might become one of the strongest talents in the region. He adds that his help wasn't just for show, it was also to test the kid's potential. The red-haired man laughs, teasing that he probably just admires him. The blue-haired man jokes with the red-haired one, threatening to shut him up if he keeps teasing. Meanwhile, Cheng wakes up, confused and disoriented, realizing the dungeon around him is collapsing. He panics, shouting to his teammate to hurry and escape before it's too late. His friend sighs in relief that Cheng is awake, but worries that if Huang Ying and Hai Lai's groups are guarding the exit, escaping won't be easy. Cheng is shocked to see his teammate lying on the ground, severely injured but still alive. The wounded man weakly laughs, saying he fought off 4 monsters while carrying Cheng on his back, keeping his promise to protect him until the end. Cheng looks at him in disbelief, realizing how badly he's hurt and that the dungeon is collapsing fast, they can't stay any longer. Barely conscious, his friend struggles to speak, insisting they must, before his voice fades. Carrying his injured friend on his back, Cheng walks toward the blinding exit light, unsure of what dangers await outside. He mutters that stepping out might lead straight into another deadly battle, but there's no turning back now. As the portal glows, the crowd gasps someone is finally emerging from the dungeon. Observers from afar note the figure approaching through the teleport vortex, declaring the real winner is about to appear. An old man advises his lady not to get her hopes up, saying such a low-level test isn't worth her attention. But the purple-eyed woman insists confidently it's him, the one she's been waiting for. From the glowing portal, a lone figure slowly emerges, carrying someone on his back. It's Cheng, battered and bloodied, yet still holding his injured friend tightly. Watching from afar, the purple-eyed woman confirms it really is him. Meanwhile, others are shocked and confused, realizing the person coming out isn't one of their own. One of the men steps forward, coldly asking if the boy was the only one who made it out alive. Another, furious, demands to know where his brothers are and what the kid did to them. Cheng calmly replies they're all dead. He killed them himself, as they were no better than beasts. Enraged by his words, the gang draws their weapons, shouting for revenge. The red-haired man growls in fury, ordering his men to rip Cheng apart piece by piece. A swarm of angry fighters charges forward, shouting threats and curses. Cheng grips his blade tightly, feeling power surge through his body. As flames ignite around him, his system activates new abilities, merging his strength to unleash the ultimate attack. Cheng levels up twice in a row, feeling the surge of power from his newly awakened Radiant Wind ability. He focuses his energy and shouts, "Call wind," as glowing symbols appear around him. A massive whirlwind forms, lifting debris and shocking everyone around. In an instant, the storm ignites into blazing flames, engulfing the enemies in a fiery inferno. The purple-haired man draws his blade, acknowledging Cheng's impressive strength. The red-haired brute laughs, taunting Cheng and questioning his strange abilities. Cheng glares back, flames flickering around him, saying his power is none of their business. Both men prepare to attack, mocking him for wasting words with someone who's already as good as dead. Yazi tells Cheng to put him down, saying the enemies are too strong to fight while carrying him. Cheng admits he can't win even if he puts him down, but still refuses to back away. Yazi is shocked, wondering why Cheng is acting so bold without a plan. Meanwhile, a girl watching from afar worries as two powerful administrators prepare to attack Cheng. The old man tells the lady not to worry, assuring her it's not time to step in yet. When she asks why, he replies that someone else has already arrived to handle it. Meanwhile, the red-haired brute charges forward with rage, vowing to kill Cheng. Yazi panics, yelling for Cheng to run, but Cheng stays calm, sensing someone powerful approaching. A massive red aura explodes as a giant lion-shaped energy roars, forcing everyone to stop. Yazi realizes it's Zhang Mimi's powerful word ability, the one they had been waiting for. From afar, Zhao Cheng walks confidently, declaring himself untouchable under company protection. The purple-haired swordsman smirks, welcoming Zhang Mimi's arrival to the battlefield. The red-bearded man greets Administrator Zhang, complaining about his late arrival. Zhang asks calmly if they've been waiting for him all this time. The purple-haired swordsman smirks, saying they've waited long for this chance to overthrow him. Zhang smiles confidently, mocking them for thinking just the two of them can take him down. Zhang Mimi questions if they truly believe two people can take him down. He reveals they've brought back up a powerful military unit joins the fight. A guard rushes in, warning Zhang Mimi that countless awakened beings are attacking their settlement gates. Zhang orders everyone except Bai Rong to reinforce the defenses, promising to join soon. He coldly questions what promises the enemies made to make the attackers so reckless. The red-bearded man laughs, revealing they offered free rein to plunder for 3 days, taunting Zhang to face his fate. Zhang Mimi glares coldly, accusing his former allies of betraying the settlement. The purple-haired man argues that he never gained power despite helping overthrow the old hierarchy, while the red-bearded brute blames Zhang for refusing to expand by raiding other lands. Watching from afar, Chengzi realizes this internal conflict will completely reshape the settlement's power. His companion whispers that Zhang Mimi must have a hard time dealing with so many traitors within his own ranks. Chengzi and Yezi spot their driver friend and call out to him for help. The driver warns them to follow him quickly before the battle starts, offering to lead them somewhere safe. Before they can move, a sudden explosion erupts behind them, throwing them off balance. Chengzi reacts instantly, shielding the driver as debris and shockwaves sweep across the battlefield. Yezi shouts in shock as the battlefield erupts. The real fight has begun. Blinding lightning and surging earth currents clash violently, shaking the mountains. The driver explains that these powers are elemental traits. Bai Rong controls lightning, while Huang Jun manipulates the earth. Chengzi watches intensely, wondering about Zhang's own mysterious green flames and what kind of power they hold. Zhang unleashes blazing green flames, a power unseen in the real world, stunning everyone on the battlefield. The crowd realizes this is no ordinary ability, it's the fabled radiant trait. The driver recalls Zhang once mentioning it as Hell Flames, a power said to come from the depths of the underworld. Yezi trembles in awe, realizing it's a 1 in 10,000 radiant trait strong enough to reshape the entire world. Chengzi asks if such a legend really exists, and Yezi explains he's read about it in ancient books describing how their world came to be. He recalls tales of a terrifying radiant trait that first appeared in the ancient era, one powerful enough to warp the fabric of reality itself. No one knew whether it was born from humanity or simply borrowed a human form. It was a force beyond comprehension. When it awakened, the trait unleashed destruction so immense that it wiped out all of human civilization in a single cataclysmic event. Yezi imagines that if they could wield a radiant trait like Zhang's, rebuilding ancient human civilization might actually be possible. Chengzi admits his radiant trait isn't that powerful. Each one differs greatly in strength and potential. He wonders if such overwhelming power could ever be controlled by humans or if it would eventually consume its wielder. Just then, his enemy charges forward, shouting that his own power isn't worthless and preparing to strike back. With a furious roar, Haley activates his second ability, the Bronze Colossus, a powerful gold trait that amplifies his size and strength. Yezi and the others watch in shock as Haley's body expands, realizing even gold traits can vary drastically in power. Haley charges at Zhang Mimi, declaring he'll crush anyone who stands in the way of his domination. But Zhang Mimi smirks calmly, his green flames surging higher as he replies with quiet confidence, "Oh, really?" Zhang Mimi engulfs Haley in his blazing green flames, launching him skyward with overwhelming force. He declares that Haley isn't strong enough to replace him, his power radiating brighter. Burning and desperate, Haley screams that he'll drag Zhang down with him before dying. Yezi watches anxiously, questioning why Zhang isn't dodging, realizing the clash could go either way if it continues like this. Chengzi realizes Zhang Mimi is distracted, splitting his focus to assist in another fight nearby. Bai Rong is trapped by Huang Jun's earth currents, while the flames surrounding them distort the battlefield. Yezi notices that Zhang's hell flames unintentionally help Bai Rong by blocking Huang Jun's attacks. With a cold smile, Huang Jun mocks Bai Rong, saying he has underestimated the difference in the power and will now pay with his life.